This is something Lewis could do.
And it's
welcome to it, sports fans. The 25th of June, the MKT Show. I personally feel great this morning. But I just realized there's so many useless things happening around me that I do every single day. As useless as New Zealand winning the World Test Championship. I mean, who cares? Not even a real thing. Not even a real thing. Just want to put that out there before they start getting loud in New Zealand. An absolute shambles of a tournament. We'll talk cricket today. I think that's an important thing to address. I mean, get the hell out of here with this farce. Get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? No good. No good for any of us. Listen, the MKT show today is going to be electrifying. I'm not alone, and that feels amazing. You know, it feels good not to be alone. It feels good. I just feel good in general. Great to have you with us. I hope you're having a great Friday. You may be just trying to figure out right now. It's Friday. How do I book that fake meeting as an external meeting? Pretty close to work, but not so close to work that your boss might pop in there. You know, I understand how it goes. You got to figure those kinds of things out, because really what you want to do is you want to, in this day and age, you probably want to take your car home, Uber to the pub that your fake meeting is at so you can Uber home. Because the last thing you want to do is be trapped at a pub and you think to yourself, oh, I'll just have one beer and now I got to go because you're driving. So you probably want to drop your car off. There's logistics, and what happens if you drop your car off? Your boss sees you Ubering back. You got to have that fake meeting at the very least. At the very least, I'd say half an hour to 45 minutes from the office in whatever direction. Even more important, you got to know where your boss lives. These are really crucial things to fake Friday meetings. And I imagine those external Friday meetings are surging around about now. It's about midday in the Republic of South Africa. I would imagine the boys and the girls are planning a thunderous Friday. It is about to go off. So good for you. But we're just a bunch of meatheads. You know, we just talk about sport. I'll give you my Friday 5. Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, breaking records this week. I decided I'll give you my list of the 5 greatest European footballers of all time in the Friday 5. So we'll definitely start off with that in a little bit. But as I said, I'm not alone. I'm joined by a man who has repeatedly said that he's on the fence about his feelings about his mom's comfort in her own life that she's worked to build. Yesterday, his mom was out having a good time. She lives in a sort of beach area, and it was a big thing for him, the fact that she was having a good time. So it doesn't bring him any pleasure when his mom is having a good time. So that's weird, but it is what it is. He's a man who has influenced coffee as far-flung as Vietnam, as Johannesburg, South Africa, and a man who had a fantastic haircut this week. He has not altered his beard at all. This is just natural swag. Natural swag. Now the question becomes, does the carpet match the curtains? Because you will notice a little bit of ginger tinge in there, ladies and gentlemen. James Jimbo Illingsley. Jimbo, what is happening, pal?
How you doing?
I'm great.
I, first of all, am not answering that question.
Which one?
Does the carpet match the drapes?
Okay.
Secondly, I have some news for you.
I like news.
I got a message before the show.
So, information, because not every piece of information is news. So I'll decide whether it's news.
Okay, you can just...
Yeah.
So I've got some information for you.
Excellent. I look forward to this.
I got a WhatsApp before the show.
It's okay.
That says... and it's phrased like this because of the way you phrased something on Monday's show.
Sure.
God did not water the pitch for free practice 1. It's sunny and warm, 47-degree track temperature, nice and hot.
Got you.
So I asked this person that sent me a message, why is it so specifically worded?
Yeah.
Right. And then this person said, he just loved the way that you had said it the other day, the way you had said that God must water the pitch.
That's it.
So, yeah, that was a message I got this morning.
Listen, I know what I know, right? And if anybody knows, it's God, and he's going to water the pitch for Formula One when he feels like it's a little bit boring. He needs to spice it up, I'm telling you.
Well, the pitch is supposed to be watered this weekend, apparently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's supposed to be raining.
Because it's better. Is it going to be a night race?
No.
You know what? He also wouldn't give you everything, because then what do you have to live for and strive for? You know what I mean? Life is the battle, the
Exactly.
constant walk in, as Coolio said, the valley of the shadow of death. You know what I mean? That's a part of it. There is salvation and suffering, James.
There is salvation and suffering, and what do I always say? God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers.
That's why my mom got me as a son, you know what I mean?
Because you ate mayonnaise out the jar and that was a battle for your mom.
Well, no, she's a strong soldier, so she needs a big test, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying you're the test, because you ate mayonnaise out the jar and dropped the jar, and you have a big forehead and you're repulsive to women. And
well, yeah, that doesn't really affect my mom, I don't think. Oh, man, that day that mayonnaise fell on my head, I'll never forget that. And once it hits your head, because for those who don't know, when I was younger, I was doing the classic, it's a little bit too high, so I've got the chair, right? And then it's chair, and then you obviously go counter.
yes.
And now, man, still too small. And what you can't do is okay, I'm standing on the counter, right, to get the mayonnaise. That doesn't work. Is you got to do the knee, and I'm trying to reach it. Oh, because I was too tall for stand.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but too short for kneel and get it. So I'm doing the classic middle finger, just pull it, and hopefully I'll catch it. But what was I doing? It was a massive. Do you know there were those jumbo glass ones? Like it's not the standard small one. And then
bigger ones.
there's the small one. I think it'll be 500 grams
Yeah.
of mayonnaise, and then there's whatever the like normal one that people buy, and then you get the jumbo one. Yeah, they're like for the whole family.
You know, there's one actually bigger than that one.
Is the American size.
There's a huge one.
Unbelievable.
I've also seen before a bottle of Tabasco.
How big?
Huge. In Jeffreys Bay at the spa. We were there on like summer holiday or whatever, and there was this like massive jar of just Tabasco. It was like this big and like massively wide.
But now tell me this: did you buy it or not?
I don't eat red Tabasco. It was red Tabasco.
So you've got. I forget that you've got the palate of like a 4-year-old for anything spicy. I think we've discussed this.
Last night on my food, I had the green Tabasco.
Oh, you're so brave.
Which is the jalapeno.
What a warrior, yeah.
You know.
Jeez, like I remember my first beer.
Exactly.
I mean, what a soft ass. So your taste buds are just the real northern suburbs taste buds.
Well, I'm still
Soft-ass
adjusting with the whole taste bud thing and the
in your defense,
non-smoking thing.
White guy, you're a white guy. In Belgium, you know how we have like spicy McDonald's burgers and stuff here?
Yes.
So one thing I noticed when I went to Belgium, they don't have that.
They just don't have spicy food.
Like in sort of even in Sweden, they got spicy food, but it's like at restaurants. So their McDonald's, for instance, is everything's creamy. There's like no
Vibes.
like Mexican burger. Yeah. They don't do
Vibes.
that. That's not a part of their. So in your defense, it's probably genetic. You know.
I support them.
Yeah.
My stepdad, on the other hand, can actually take a bottle of red Tabasco,
Yeah.
all over, and then still add like chilies and still eat it. And I'm like,
Yeah, because he's from North London. He's made tough.
my thing is, I don't get the whole thing of not feeling your tongue.
How would you know? You smoked for 5 years.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do get it because you did it for 5 years.
Yeah, that is a great point.
So a little bit of a hypocrite there. But I want to go back to the massive Tabasco thing.
Yes.
Right? Explain to me the point of that, because you know the top of a Tabasco thing is there's a tiny little hole at the top. Now I'm wondering, did that massive one have like a small hole? Do you know what I mean? Because who the hell is taking that much Tabasco to a table? When is that useful? Unless you're feeding an elephant who has a taste for Tabasco. Because ideally for those big ones, what you want to be doing is filling a smaller container, right? Is just for tabletop Tabasco. Like what's a mission now for me to take my Tabasco? It's like a 2-liter Tabasco or what?
So logically, when I think about it, its purpose is one of two things, right?
Yeah.
It's either to refill many different ones,
Yes.
or it would probably be like, you know, those oversized wine bottles or champagne bottles that are decorations.
Yes.
Yeah,
But did it have Tabasco in it?
Yes.
Oh, so you're just saying like I'd buy it for that?
Yeah.
Because if it is,
I wouldn't. You would.
Yeah. No, if it is to refill, have you seen how do you refill it? Because a Tabasco
that's a
bottle
good
is that thing's glued on.
Yeah, and it's got the
No, it's glued on. It's a tiny hole. How would you refill that? See,
just painful. Just buy another bottle of.
Listen, if anybody's listening and you know who that would be for, and maybe you've bought 3 liters of Tabasco before,
also, if
let
you
me know
have,
when that's useful.
Yeah. Also, if you have, let us know how long that 3 liters lasts.
Lasts. But they may be going through it right now.
Yeah.
They may think jumbo Tabasco is the only way to do it in these economic times. I understand. Shout out to you having a budget. I believe in budgets, so I believe in rules.
But it's also super weird that I only saw it there, and I've never seen it again. In the small town of Jeffreys Bay,
Yeah.
I saw it in a spa. Never seen it again.
In fairness, J Bay, what are they? 60 years behind the rest of the world.
That is true. They only have one robot.
Besides that, just everything about J Bay. I mean, he is a proper throwback, like hidden away.
I do love it down there.
You know, I mean, Port Elizabeth is 40 years behind. I studied there, so I can say it. Like conclusive. I mean, I even spent 2 extra years there. You know, my mom didn't volunteer for paying for those. If I failed 2 years, I mean, that's what's going to happen. It'll get you. You know, when you fail, you got to make up for that. Anyway, so I've got 5 years of experience of Port Elizabeth. That's 20 years behind Johannesburg and Cape Town. And then Jeffreys Bay is probably, they probably still have Neanderthals in J Bay.
In the Eastern Cape, tomorrow is always another day. So don't expect to I'm going to leave the house at 6:30. I'm going to be there at 7. That's how it's going to work. No, because you're going to get stuck behind a cow, and then you're going to get stuck behind Tani, who's on her way to the hairdresser,
Yeah.
and she's driving 3 kilometers an hour. Then you're going to be stuck behind in his Ford Ranger, and he's also going at about 12 kilometers an hour. So tomorrow's another day down there.
Look, that area, or just the Eastern Cape in general, it's like there's a reason why everyone on the is sort of retiring there, right? And fair enough, it's not for us. And I think what I do know is people from those towns actually resent people from like the cities, like Cape Town and whatever, because they're all moving down there, right? Is people move to Johannesburg and Cape Town to make money, right? Some people want to live there, but in reality, I mean, I was looking at some stats a while back. I think it was 70% plus of residents in Johannesburg are not from Johannesburg. Now, there's a reason for that. Historically, obviously, the way South Africa is built, this was, Gauteng, the place of gold. So migrant labor is a real thing. And thus, obviously, Johannesburg is the economic hub, whether you like it or not, across the board.
Yeah.
Everything like high-level economics. So where would smart people want to go? Where would most people want to go? The money is here, They say you make your money in Joburg, you retire in Cape Town, right? Because Cape Town really is like, oh, we've made our money, or we had lots of money from before, and we'll just keep the trust funds down here and live our best lives, But what I do know about people, especially in the Eastern Cape and sort of George and Mossel Bay and all of these places, is they cannot stand the thought, because this is really the first retiring generation in sort of South Africa, open South Africa, and people are flooding to the cities. I had a meeting yesterday, 1,000 families per month. Listen to that number. 1,000 families per month are moving down. What's the sort of George Tsitsikamma area? What's it called again?
Like the Garden Route.
Garden Route. 1,000 families per month are moving to that area.
Really?
To the whole Garden Route. No, not just one location. That entire Garden Route. 1,000 families per month. It doesn't sound like a lot when you spread it across the whole garden, but think about families. That's like, so a family is at least 2 people, husband, wife, right?
Yes.
At the very least. Do that every single year. So 1,000, let's average it out at 3, right?
Okay.
So that's 3,000 people a month. 36, well, what is that? 36,000 a year, give or take. Just moving 1,000 families a month is what I heard yesterday in our meeting. A lady lives in Mossel Bay.
What's it called? Semigration or what?
When
you
move within the country.
Yeah, when there's a mass sort of migration to, what's it called? Semigration.
I don't know.
It was a big thing during COVID.
Okay.
When South Africa went into level 5.
Okay.
A lot of like Joburgers and those
the Varleys.
The Varleys were going down to the coast, be it Cape Town or the Eastern Cape or whatever, to work from there during the lockdown.
Those who have like houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to them, bro.
It's also a shout out that was in English. You know what we also need to give a shout out to?
Yes.
So, I got a message about the Tabasco. Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Just to jump back to it, right? So,
sorry, for those who don't know, James saw a jumbo tub. It could be, let's say, between 2 and 3 liters of Tabasco, and I was questioning when that's useful.
Right. So this is not an update on when it's useful. It's just an update on where you can get it.
Okay.
Right. So I got sent a picture. It's a gallon of Tabasco. So let's do the maths there real quick. I probably should have done this before. Gallon to, what are we doing it to? Milliliters?
Just say, well, gallon to... no,
gallon to
liters.
liters, yeah. Okay. So 1 gallon is 3.7 liters.
Yes.
Right?
So, James, you could have just asked me that, by the way.
Right, so 3.7 liters of Tabasco is available at the Macro in Centurion.
It's unbelievable.
You can also get a gallon of mayonnaise, a gallon of soy sauce, and a gallon of tartar sauce.
So I can understand those because I can put those in smaller containers. I can
those are sort of...
No, because I can use it. Let's say if I own a restaurant.
Yeah.
I can, you know what I mean? Makes sense. I can get them. So what, are they putting Tabasco sauce in food? I don't think Tabasco, you'd have to ask your stepdad. Maybe you can send him a WhatsApp, James.
Do you mean like as an ingredient in like a sauce or
That's
whatever?
what I'm saying. Is, you know, with mayonnaise, is you use it for so many things. It's a condiment, a tabletop condiment. You can put in food. It's used across the board. You might have 4 restaurants. So, you know, you may say, okay, go and dump half at the one location. I don't know how restaurants work, but I understand that. What am I doing with that much Tabasco sauce? Because I can't put it in smaller containers. Do you know what I mean?
I would imagine you can use Tabasco in like whatever sauce you make.
Well, I tell you what. Let's make this interactive. And I don't want to know what an afterkid would imagine when your stepdad is a chef. Send him a WhatsApp and say, "Can you use Tabasco in food?" And we want to know. Like,
there's a high chance, but okay.
Listen, so, I don't know if what time does the restaurant open? I'd imagine your stepdad is at
only I think 11 or 12.
Okay, so he'd already be at work. But if we can get him on, let's get him on the show to talk about it today. Now, if that can happen in the second hour after 1 o'clock, we will get him live on this show. Let's talk about England, and then let's talk about Tottenham.
Yes,
and
vibes.
Let's talk about Tabasco. Get him on. Hey, James,
do it.
Send that while I'm doing the next segment, because it's a huge thing. We need to solve this problem. Why is there 4 liters of Tabasco available and you can't put it in smaller containers? What's happening? Who owns a Jaguar? Because I imagine you have to be feeding something that large to need that much Tabasco.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like maybe your Jaguar, or Jaguare, if you're a Spanish-speaking person, maybe she's into a little Tabasco, you know what I mean?
I had many thoughts that popped through my head, and then immediately as you stopped speaking, all of them just left.
It left your head.
Yeah, like I had thoughts about what you had just said.
Yeah.
All of them.
Listen.
Just like the wind. Gone with the wind.
Bernie Eccleston lives in Brazil, or he's got a manor in Brazil where he's got every single animal you can imagine. Now, is that highly illegal? I'm not going to comment on that, but he has got from tiger to the most exotic birds. Again, I'm not going to comment on that. There's people in England with giraffes in their backyard. So, people are, maybe these people are feeding a giraffe. Maybe they're feeding an elephant. I believe elephants need to eat somewhere between 19 and 35 kilograms a day. So that's the kind, although herbivore, do you think they'd be into, or herbivores? Or if we got any vegans listening to the show, you into Tabasco? I don't know what vegans do. Like
remember that vegan that got really upset with us?
I think they were just upset with me. Yeah.
So they probably aren't listening to the show.
No. I think they were very clear about me being an idiot and not understanding anything. I think they said in the one message. So if you are a vegan and for whatever reason you think it's a good idea to listen to this show, are vegans into Tabasco sauce? And these are the questions we should be answering. Forget about everything else. Forget about happiness and all this nonsense that people are focused on. Do vegans like Tabasco sauce? And these are the questions we need to answer. All right, Jimbo, give me some of that music. While we actually see if we can get a chef on the show to explain a few things about
I'm trying, yeah.
mass level Tabasco sauce consumption and whether it's actually useful for food. All right, give me some of that music, Jimbo. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do what we do on Fridays. Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, resetting the sort of, I'm 36. Who cares? Cristiano Ronaldo is 36 going on 21. Quite phenomenal. What I thought I'd do for you today is I would tell you the 5 greatest European footballers of all time. This took me about 3 hours to put together. I had 4 lists. Slept. It ate into my sleep last night. I like to get my 8 hours. It ate into my sleep. I only got far too little. I got up, I went to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I thought, well, does this list work? And I couldn't refine it any better. Okay, let's get into it. The Friday 5, the greatest European players of all time. At number 5, on paper, actually, when you really do away with the emotion and everybody telling you about who he is, actually on paper, not the greatest career. Because I consider how much have you won? It's why I'm not really into Diego Maradona. I think he's more myth and legend than substance. And, but this guy ultimately, it would almost seem like I want to be a football hipster if I didn't put him in. On paper, not a great career. Certainly doesn't match up to his sort of fanfare. I would say a bigger international legend than he was a club legend. It never, Bordeaux, Juventus, Real Madrid, where does he actually fit in? Is he even a legend at any of those clubs? I think he's a bigger legend in the media and for cool football fans than he is at any one footballing institution. And I think actually what happened is at the international level is where he's the biggest legend. 2 Serie A titles, a La Liga, one Champions League, 1 World Cup, a Euros, and the 1998 Ballon d'Or at number 5. Algerian Frenchman Zinedine Zidane. At number 4, he's the Maldini of this generation, clubless at the moment. He came from Sevilla at the age of 19 and essentially, sort of for the last 16 years, has blessed Real Madrid at right back and centre back. He was a central figure in 5 La Liga titles, 4 Champions League titles, 2 Euros titles, of course, for Spain, and a World Cup. The one and only husband to one Pilar Rubio, the magnificent Sergio Ramos. At number 3, he survived Frank Rijkaard trying to sort of rip away the La Masia way and annex him, really. Him and his vertically challenged friend who couldn't grow hair but could certainly play. And they would go on to swap shirt numbers at club and Spanish level. He is the epitome of the textbook. When the textbook says pass and move, this is who they were talking about. It is pass and move. First touch is important. The second touch, you should know where it's going. He is the epitome textbook of that. An absolute monster for Catalonia. 8-time La Liga winner, 4-time Champions League winner, 2-time Euro winner, and 1-time World Cup champ in the Republic of South Africa. In my opinion, the greatest midfielder the game has ever seen. One Xavi Hernandez. An absolute maestro. Could do it all. At number 2, he's the greatest defender of all time. I've always argued for him being in the Messi and Ronaldo conversation. I still argue for that, but I wouldn't do it in public. For me, the greatest defender, and it's not close, by the way. He could right foot, left foot, and what he never gets enough credit for, probably the best athlete. Gareth Bale got too many injuries. I thought Gareth Bale would be the best natural athlete to ever play the game. This guy, for 26 years, never once injured, it felt like. Broke his leg in one preseason, was back that season. I mean, up and down, left back, right back, centre back. Don't worry about it. He's the greatest defender. He is the Leo Messi of defenders. There's nobody in his universe for how complete he was and everything he could do. Passing range back then for defenders. Superb football skills, could play in the midfield, left mid, right mid. Quite incredible. 7 Serie A titles, 5 Champions League titles. And the phenomenal part about that, and this is why he separates himself from all other footballers to me. Right? Messi and Ronaldo are getting longevity awards. This guy won those in 3 different decades. 80s, 90s, noughties. And he was central in all of them. At the age of 40, he won the Champions League as the captain, having played the whole season. At the age of 40. Having started at 16. Listen, expectation is always the killer. Up in the stands at the San Siro was this shirt, number 3, was retired. Right? Think of that expectation. Also, by the way, your father's the guy who's the biggest legend in the history of the club. Now, well, arguably with, of course, the man who the San Siro is named after. But now, not only do you have to pull his shirt from the rafters, by the way, he's the coach picking you. And we all know people, if you've been to any school, where we go, oh, he's only in because he's the coach's son. Imagine that at 16, and your dad's the greatest player ever, and you're unretiring his jersey, which the fans of Milan said, this is madness. What is going on here? And why is he picking his own son? Ladies and gentlemen, a start at 16, a legend at 40, the ultimate defender of all time, one of my absolute favorites. If I wasn't an Inter Milan fan, he'd be my favorite. Zanetti, my personal favorite footballer of all time, of course, and the battles between these two were legendary. At number 2, the great Paolo Maldini, the Don. The Don. Unrivaled. And there is no par. There is no comparison to this man. Nobody's close. I love Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos' name, it would be blasphemy to mention his name in the same breath as this guy. It is blasphemy. Franco Baresi was great. And even he says he's never seen anything like this. It felt like Maldini could have used the same shorts, by the way, from his first game at 16 until he was 40. Left every game, didn't need to slide tackle, he was a phenomenal athlete. Think about this. He was what you'd wanted a Rio Ferdinand to be, because Rio, I believe, had too many mistakes in his game, but just a freak athlete. Maldini was that, plus he had the Vidic side. So it was Virgil van Dijk before Virgil van Dijk, but he could play left back and right back as well, and left mid and right mid, and he was genuinely ambidextrous, two-footed. The GOAT himself, Paolo Maldini. At number 1, I'm not going to waste time. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. Just stop it. We don't need the conversation. We don't need to. If I need to justify that, sport means nothing to you. He's the greatest of all time. There isn't a conversation to have. There isn't. If you want to talk it out, give me Johan Cruyff. Okay, get out of here. Like, that's cool to be a football hipster. Cristiano Ronaldo has no comparison. He has no equal. What he has done consistently now, from the age of sort of 21 until now, it's unbelievable. Nobody in European history has been this. Nobody has been close. If there wasn't Leo Messi, he's the greatest player of all time by some distance. He's unmatched. He's the greatest of all time, the greatest European player of all time. CR7 plays on the left, he plays on the right. That boy Ronaldo makes England look, and you know the rest of that. An absolute monster. Is there anything he can't do? He's 36. He's got almost every record now. He's got the international scoring record overall. He's got the Euros record now. He's got Champions League records. I mean, is there anything this man has not done? Love him or hate him, just appreciate the greatness. Love him or hate him. I actually, there are two footballers who I don't care how you feel about them. Messi and Ronaldo. It doesn't matter to me what your personal feelings are. There is no debate to be had about how legendary, both unicorns. Absolute monster, Cristiano Ronaldo. All right, the 5 greatest European footballers of all time. At number 5, Zinedine Zidane. At number 4, Sergio Ramos. At number 3, Catalan monster and legend and creator and maestro, Xavi Hernandez. At number 2, the Don, the greatest defender of all time, Paolo Maldini. And at number 1, Madeira and Portugal's favorite son, Cristiano Ronaldo. What a player. What a player, what a man. What a player.
I've always been Team Ronaldo.
Oh, it's Team CR7.
I've always been Team CR7. Always.
Oh.
I don't get the... Like, Messi's great and all, but... I see the hype around Ronaldo. There's just so many flaws in the whole Messi's better argument. You know?
I hear you.
He's the boy. Man, shattering records daily, weekly.
CR7.
He's the boy. I like him.
No, he's the guy.
Scratch that. I love him.
You love Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's my boy.
I get it. Other than if you've got like the insecurity complex, because at 36, he looks like he's 21 physically, you know, and he's not shy, and he's not short of confidence either. Quite right. And that's why he's got to the level he's at. Listen, insecure people are going to hate Cristiano Ronaldo, and I get it. Like, not everyone's for everyone. Messi's probably more likable because of how the PR has gone around him. But Cristiano Ronaldo deserves everything. Listen, there's a fine line between arrogance and confidence. And Cristiano Ronaldo could never do anything to be called arrogant. Because what more is left in his field of work? What is left for him to achieve? Professionalism, top of the game, right? Numbers, top of the game. Left foot, right foot, being the perfect footballer, top of the game. Like, what more can he do? Moving from right wing as a flying right winger at Manchester United, where he won the Ballon d'Or, by the way, at the age of 23, to sort of inside left forward at Real Madrid, and going to the greatest club of all time and becoming their record guy, and then converting to a sort of striker now role that he's in now. I mean, he's playing from the left, but in reality, Ronaldo's a striker now. We know he doesn't want to do the running up and down, although he still does. He's still going box to box, by the way. He is not shy. You've seen with Portugal, there was, I don't know who didn't pass him the ball. I think it was Bernardo Silva. I can't quite remember, or was it Renato Sanchez? I think it was Bernardo twice, where Ronaldo's gone from his own box, and he is not happy about it. So
no, it was wasn't it Diogo Jota?
Probably Liverpool player ruining everything for the greatest player of all time.
We do tend to do that.
Yeah,
we do.
That's true.
I was just trying to look now. I saw a video on I think it was TikTok the other day, of Cristiano Ronaldo, and it was a penalty shootout. I'm not sure what tournament it was for, but he was playing for Portugal, and they were doing the sort of lists at the end of the game, and it was just a short clip of him saying to one of the players, "You're taking one of the penalties. You can do this. Come on." And the player was like, "Nah, I don't think I can do this on this big stage." And Ronaldo turned around to him and said, "It doesn't matter if we win or lose. Show personality. Let's go. You're taking a penalty. Let's do it." And the guy actually scored a penalty. I can't for the life of me remember what game it was, but it wasn't long ago. And just watching that clip and you talking about what else does he sort of need? You know, he's got the confidence, professionalism. He can drive a team. That's very obvious, especially after the Euros in 2016, 18. My years are just terrible, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I just think all round, great player. I don't think there's ever been a time where I've been like, "Okay, Ronaldo, just like calm down." Like even with the arrogance and the confidence and that whole thing, I don't think there's ever been a time where.
You know what sucks for him is that he's also handsome. Like that's very threatening. Like I've always said to people, good-looking people threaten people immediately in a room. Nothing unsettles people more than a good-looking woman walking into a room. But like, you know, there are some women who look like they are constantly airbrushed, you know? Do you know what I mean? When they walk in the room, it makes everyone uncomfortable. Guys want to be near them, and girls resent them. It's just what it is. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why girls hate good-looking girls. Like, whatever. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not even going to get into it. And most guys are insecure. Like, oh, there's no way she'd ever find me attractive, or whatever's going on, you know? So they often need to, people always need to say, she must be dumb, or whatever, you know? Like, just bring them down to my level.
It's like, oh, that girl's so sweet. And then it's like, one of the girls are like, oh, she's just such a bitch. And you're like, why? What does she do? She's just pretty,
just look
okay.
At her. No, just look at her.
Yeah, just look at her,
right?
Just
look at her. You know she's, and then put in whatever you. So
insert insult here.
Yeah. So now, not only is Cristiano Ronaldo handsome, which most of us are not, he's also the greatest to ever. He's all time at his profession. Most of us will never know the greatness in our own profession or in our personal lives. So he's extremely threatening, Cristiano Ronaldo.
I just think even when he performs on an international stage, and he has done multiple times, when he performs on an international stage and at a club level, and, you know, all of these sort of different areas, and winning Ballon d'Ors and winning the best award and whatever it is, I just think it further cements the mentality behind him genuinely being the GOAT. Like, Messi's great and all, but you watch Messi for Argentina, it's like, you know? Like, it's very rare you see a player that can show up on all stages. Neymar for PSG and Brazil, it's kind of like, you know.
James, it's blasphemous that you've mentioned Neymar in the same sentence as Leo Messi and
Cristiano
Cristiano
examples
Ronaldo.
of players that,
No,
you know,
no. Neymar's not even the top 50 greatest players of all time. Stop it.
not even Neymar. Like, even Mo Salah. Mo Salah performs fairly decently, fairly well. Sometimes
also
for
he's had
Liverpool.
one good season, please. Like, Mo Salah is also blasphemous. Don't listen. Let me give you an example. Arjen Robben is probably the greatest genuine winger of our generation. Right? He went Chelsea at 20, 21, 22, 23 and just changed the face of the Premier League. Went to Bayern Munich, reinvented himself, got on that Bayern Munich diet, that Bavarian diet that they seem to have there, put some muscle on, and reinvented himself as an inside right forward, right? And was unplayable for, 6 years. That's a legendary player.
Yeah.
He doesn't register. He doesn't register on the Cristiano Ronaldo scale at all. And he's like awesome. Like Robben is, he could play in any team, in any era, power, pace, cut inside. The cut inside and shoot in the modern era. When you think of cut inside and shoot, there's Arjen Robben. He sort of, it's very rare when you do anything in your industry is for anyone to think of a part of the game, like the Cruyff turn. You know, there's something called the Cruyff turn. That's like, what? A whole sport has a moment named after you. Cut inside and shoot. You're thinking Arjen Robben, right? So there's an incredible career, like 1% career. 1% of footballers, maybe even less. I'm being kind. Arjen Robben is a proper, bona fide football legend. And Ronaldo's like a thousand's too little. It's sort of infinite how far ahead his career has been of that. You know, just to put it in perspective. Plus he's handsome. Plus he's good at business. Plus the marketing monsters like him. Like, dude, most of us won't achieve greatness, like I say, as a father, as a brother, just in tiny little personal spaces. Cristiano Ronaldo feels bulletproof. And that's threatening to most of us. Whether you want to admit it or not, he is threatening. And he's 6'3", and you've seen what he looks like. You know, he looks like an Amazon warrior, to use a terrible, like, Hollywood stereotype. But he's 36, and he puts everyone under 36 in the world, between 21 and 36, all the butts and the gas, puts them to shame. Most people will never, ever have the discipline to, forget about his football side, you'll never have the discipline, and you've got the time to be in that shape. Like, how does he do all of that? He's in that shape. He's playing football. He's also got hotels in Madeira. He's also, wait a minute. Now his mum, he said, I promised my mum that I will work so hard that she never has to work again. Done that. Now his sister's in the business. Oh, wait, he's helping his family out. Like, hey, maybe Jesus is walking around already.
The dude is insane. Like, you mentioned the marketing monsters and stuff. How many athletes or footballers are sort of in their final lap of their career, kind of?
Yep.
Because Ronaldo, we never know. How many athletes in the final lap of their career are still the face of their sponsor? Like, Kylian Mbappe is kind of coming up as the sort of new Nike boy. He's getting his own custom Nike boots.
Sure.
There's a whole
And he deserves it, and he's cool, he's handsome,
sure.
He's marketable.
For sure. But Ronaldo is still the face of Nike football.
You might argue he's actually the face of football.
Yes.
And the only people I can think that have, because Father Time will come for all of us.
Yeah, correct.
And in every part of the world, by the way, the great ones are conscious of that. Father Time will come for all of us. Him and LeBron James are the two athletes, and Tom Brady, who are holding back. So there's 3 people alive on this planet right now who are holding Father Time at bay. And it's impossible. But this is what happens, you know, and Leo Messi, to be quite frank, I mean, at 33, he shouldn't be winning the Pichichi that easily in a terrible Barcelona team. You know what I mean? But okay, this isn't about Messi. Ronaldo, LeBron, and Tom Brady. I can't think of anybody else.
You know, there's that TV advert that says
Maybe Roger Federer, but I think, you know what the thing about tennis is? I've always been skeptical of sort of like Phil Mickelson at 50.
Yeah.
Is that in sports where there's equipment, it's like, okay, no, you take a knock for that. You know what I mean? Like, Roger's unbelievable, but he also he's got great rackets and the tech's great. You know what I mean? Football's like, are you here or not?
Also, as great as Roger is, his knees are about 300 years old.
Well, no, the problem isn't he's not the one at the knees. Is our left-handed friend Rafa Nadal is the knees guy.
No, but he also has a Federer has a, but anyway, so the advert I was going to say, right? There's an advert, I don't know if you've seen it. I think it's a life insurance advert about, they say, did you know the first person that's going to live to 200 has already been born already, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Cristiano Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo is going to live to the age of like 250.
So a lot of religious people are still waiting for old JC. Shout out. Maybe he's back already. Maybe he is already, and this time he's come back not as a carpenter, but as now a reinvented left inside forward. Why is nobody having that conversation?
Because people are still convinced that this forward is actually from Mars.
Is Ronaldo's an alien?
Yeah.
All right. No, that's true.
I mean, the man can jump 27 feet in the air, dude.
Dude, just there's very little to hate about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, or there's very little I hate. Because also, he's not for everyone. Like, that's cool.
That's my damn boy, dude.
You know, if you're not into it, and Ronaldo's, and we live in a time he's a little bit, I can understand, he's for dudes.
Yes. Yeah, very
and we live in a time where sort of that expression of testosterone is kind of it's not loved right now. Now I don't know. I don't think it's loved less. I just think the media is so left leaning that everything is about you have to be in an interracial couple, and if your kids don't want to have a sex change by 6, you're toxic. If you dare marry a woman as a man, you are toxic. Do you know what I mean?
I have a question for you when
Let's
you're
hear
done with your point.
No. I'm done. It's just like I think I know why Ronaldo is so resented. He is the epitome of sort of atypical what I would consider a man's man, and I'm into that. I'm into like a man's man, grizzly, do stuff, chop down that tree. I'm into it. Like somebody was asking me the other day what it was when I moved to boarding school. Was that a nightmare coming from a co-ed environment? And I said no. I'm freaking angry. I wasn't at a boys' school since I was 6. Yeah, like punch the guy in the face if he's annoying you.
Just hit
him.
You
know, I don't like that. Let's talk it out because I'm not an intellectual. For me,
that is true.
I'm a dude's dude. Is if we got a problem, just punch me in the face, or I'm gonna punch you in the face. You know what I mean? I'm into it, dude. And I'm into like Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, that's what I'm supposed to look like. Yeah, I should be. Why can't I?
Be,
yeah, like okay, no, cool. That guy is what do you call it? Achilles vibes. You know, there's our hero. And
how many people that are alive have an airport named after them?
Yeah, that's
or just in general, like a street or like a building or whatever it is. Like the airport in Madeira is named after Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, he's the greatest. Oh, tough to say. Probably the greatest Portuguese person in terms of the sort of capitalist measures that we have. He's the greatest Portuguese person ever to live.
That's wrong. No. Nope.
Oh, who's the greatest?
You're forgetting one very important person.
The special one, Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, no.
Oh, let's hear it.
Paulo Diaz. He's pretty dope.
His greatness expresses itself in a different way. And he's been poisoned by actually being South African Portuguese, so he's not the real deal.
Right.
Yeah, so even if, let's say Paulo is the greatest Portuguese person to ever live, he gets taxed half for not actually being Jose Maria. Because I don't think Paulo has the Jose Maria Escabento, Estabio names, you know what I mean? I think he's just Paulo Diaz. And I mean, what am I doing with that now?
Yeah, there's a reason there's not an airport named after him.
Yeah, there's that. That's a waste of. So whatever Paulo is, halve it, because the South African thing brings him down. You know, you can't live in a country where your government can't even figure out how to get electricity to your house and expect me to think you're great. Paulo, listen, as a South African, you're part of the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for
sure.
You are the society, and the society is a part of you. So sorry, Paulo. I love Paulo. I honestly, I see Paulo. Our relationship is more. I see him more like a brother than anything, which is why I have to be honest with him. You know what I'm saying? Is I don't grade on a curve, and I don't make the rules. If you live in South Africa and you can't even figure out how to, I mean, James, what world is this where at some stage I'm not going to be able to turn the kettle on and have my single origin coffee? What are we doing?
Okay, don't play the victim here.
No,
you never get load shedding.
No, that's true.
We do.
Yeah, I do live in an area where I have not had load shedding once.
Exactly.
And a lot of people, or I say a lot of people, 3 or 4 people that I've told that, go, oh, how do you feel? Like genuinely have asked me, oh, geez, you're so privileged. I'm like, shut the hell up. I live where I live. It's not my problem. You chose to live in scummy 4ways.
I don't live in 4ways.
So whatever, wherever you live where there's load shedding. Oh, you know what? You chose to live not where I live. So what must I do now? Feel sorry for you because you made bad choices. Get the hell out of my face.
Then you can't play the victim and be like, oh, what kind of a world do we live in where I can't even turn on my kettle and drink my single origin? You have power.
Yeah, I do. All the time.
Exactly.
Do you remember the one time we were doing the show when I had COVID? I'm a COVID survivor for those who don't know.
Yeah.
And remember when the power went out?
Yes.
But it went out for like 2 minutes, right?
Yes.
I had a panic attack. Hypothetically. I mean, I didn't. But I was like, genuinely, I was like, what the hell is going on? Because load shedding in my mind, it's not in my mindset because I've never been exposed to it.
That was one of the worst moments of my entire life.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's your problem. It's more about me now. And the fact that load shedding is not in my mindset. You know, for you, is you actually look at your load shedding schedule. I have not looked at it once in 6 months. I've lived in this apartment. It's a 6 month now. Never had load shedding. So, also, my point is, I have no empathy for anyone. You chose to live where you live, you know? And I'm talking about people with budgets and money, and they live in these areas, right? I don't care. I feel, my one friend who has been very, very unkind about your your grammar, James. But she's been nice to you on some occasions. I think she's the second most Portuguese person in the world. But anyway.
Oh, is this the person that? Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Yes,
yeah.
and so she constantly, whenever the load shedding is on, because she's like always work. Her thing is always, I work all the time. So she's always sending me the classic, I can't believe we got load shedding thing. Like, I don't care. Why are you sending me this? You know I don't get load shedding. Why are you telling me? What do you want? Empathy? Like, what do people want me to do? Well, I must move. Okay, let me move to an area where there is load shedding. Is that what you want?
No.
So what do you want?
You're not allowed to play the victim.
No, but I was saying, what, with my single origin thing? My
Yeah.
point was, when you live in a country where that's possible.
Yes.
So I'm talking about, when I say me, I'm using the royal me because, James, as a South African citizen, my friend, my brother, you are me and I am you, you know, in the Christian sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just as, shout out JC Christ,
Yeah.
as he said was, you are me and I am,
For sure.
You are me and I am you kind of thing. Is, I mean, I am South African, Paulo South African. When I'm speaking about us as the royal, sort of, some people might say the divine, me, you know, Paulo is me and I am Paulo, is that I'm saying Paulo gets docked for living in South Africa and being born on the soil. I mean, hey, we all make our choices, pal.
I just remembered something that makes my area better than yours,
Let's hear it.
even though I get load shedding and you don't.
Yeah, Sean, let's hear it.
So videos going around on TikTok at the moment
Oh, yeah?
and Twitter
Oh, okay.
of good old Cyril Ramaphosa,
Cyril Ramaphosa.
our good old Il Presidente.
El Presidente.
So Mr. Ramaphosa, if nobody is aware,
Although in the area where you live, James, I believe it's Ramaphosa because there's a PH there.
That's why I said it the way I said it the first time. Ramaphosa.
No, PH. Fosa. Haven't you?
Do we say Ramaphosa?
Ramaphosa.
Oh,
we
damn
are so led. The people who live where you live.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry, James, going to have to interject here. James is becoming a full-on suburbs lady. The other day, he was so excited to tell me, when I get home, I'm going to walk.
I am, dude.
I'm going for my walk.
I haven't missed a day.
And now I expect James to be pitching up at work in those colorful spandex sort of tights that I'm expecting next, and just like get gossipy. That's coming up. I'm pretty sure. But he's excited about his walk in the burbs. Okay, James.
I am.
But you were saying, Mr. El Presidente Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yeah. So I know I said I don't live in Fourways. That's because I don't.
Okay.
But all right. Let me go back to the beginning. Sorry. Okay. So there's a video going around last week of Il Presidente standing up to do a speech, and he couldn't find his iPad, and he was like, my iPad's been stolen. And there was a point during this clip where I genuinely just wanted to hug him. He looked so sad and so stressed about his missing iPad.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, Cyril, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right? So that happened, and then there was stories about, he found the iPad, they didn't find the iPad, he still doesn't have the iPad, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Then there was a video that started circulating this morning, actually, on TikTok and Twitter.
Yeah.
I love South African social media.
South Africans
It's
are the best.
dude.
South African human beings, because we're constantly in turmoil in this country, right?
We're always just looking for something.
You know why South Africa and generally countries like us, I mean, you look at the Latin countries, South American, is Russians actually have a really wicked sense of humor, because anywhere where you've got, and you'll see it with the British, where the real humor lies, is anywhere where you've got the two classes, because we live in a class divide world. We do. Rich and poor, right? There's no like in between.
Sure.
You think you're middle class, you're kidding yourself. But anyway, is anywhere, any countries like South Africa and Russia and sort of Argentina, and is that anywhere where rich and poor are forced to coexist, right? Because in places like Sweden, the uber rich live in certain places and they never have to mix with the poor by Swedish standards. In our country is, and in Britain is the uber rich and the uber poor have to mix.
Yeah.
Just because of how the history of the countries, how the country was built and what the country's going through. So all humor is at its best when there's darkness involved, and that makes South Africans, I mean, I can only view the world through my own lens, is just nobody's got a better sense of humor about, especially when things go wrong.
Yes.
Nobody turns it around immediately like South Africans. But yes, go on.
Especially Twitter. Like, when things go wrong, there's always something about a braai.
Immediately.
Or like brandy,
No, South
or
Africans
like,
immediately. We don't need 3 months bank statement. We don't need a proof of residence. We don't need any of that. South Africans, tragedy happens immediately. Twitter's lit and we're laughing.
Twitter is always lit, dude. Anyway, so South Africa's #1 citizen lost his iPad.
Yeah.
That was a whole thing. And then videos started circulating this morning of him at Fourways Crossing. I don't know what the shop was. Anyway, it was like a tech shop.
Yes.
And he was in there, and there's a sign outside the shop that says certified reseller with the Apple logo. And you get that from Apple if you are a certified reseller. You can't just put the sign there because you sell Apple products.
Got you.
You have to get it from Apple. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So outside the store in Fourways Crossing, there's like 3 black BMWs as bodyguards all over the place.
Yeah.
Cyril stopped at Fourways Crossing yesterday or this morning or whenever it was.
Yeah.
And bought himself a new iPad. The point of my story was the area where I live.
Yes.
Vibes. Just vibes.
Oh, you're saying because the president needs to go there to shop?
You don't want your load shedding? We get the president, son.
I don't want anyone coming to shop where I live. You see, the slums where you live that's where all the noise and all you people, you plebs. Nobody shops where I live. You know why? You're not allowed to build shopping centers where I live. We have to live in peace and quiet. Please, man. It's about grown-ups here. So if you want to have a good time and have El Presidente in the Blue Brigade, go to James's slummy area with no lights.
You want to know the best part about it? And
Yes.
I instantly thought of you.
Yes.
So this all happened before the show. You were here in the booth right here, and I was over here. So you were already here. I could have told you, but you were busy. Anyway, going through this video, and in the video, it starts with them quite a distance away from the shop because obviously the bodyguards and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's busy inside. Then when he comes out, everybody sort of moves forward in the video, and there's like a couple of white chicks there, and like the typical like Fourways and white chicks there. There's a couple of
Okay. Please, James's thoughts on James's thoughts on white women do not reflect those of the owner of this show.
It's not my
or Cliff
thoughts.
Central, right? James, please go ahead.
It's not my thoughts on white
Tell
women.
us. No. Tell us what you think.
This is my thoughts on just. Okay.
No, say it, James. You can't not say it now. You've set us up. You've led us to the water. Please. Yes? Your
So-
typical Fourways white woman,
Yeah.
according to James, yes?
He comes out of the shop.
Let's hear it,
I
James.
can't.
No, you have to.
So he comes out of the shop, and they all kind of come closer, but they can't get too close because bodyguards.
Yeah?
They're like, "Hi, Cyril. How's it?" I'm like,
James, why are you saying it like that? Hi, Cyril. Oh my God, guys, this is a
and they
present.
did the wave. Hi, Cyril.
Yeah, like young ladies.
Yeah.
Really? Like, hi, Cyril. Oh my God, you guys.
And then he waved, and then they all like try to get into his line of sight.
Oh, yeah?
Hi, Cyril.
James, well, why do you hate white women?
I don't.
What did they do to you? James, hi, Cyril.
Hi, Cyril.
Oh my God, he waved, you guys.
One of the chicks went with their index finger for "Hi, Cyril." Like, guys, we're in a pandemic. Hi, Cyril.
Oh my word. James, okay. Now, please do not take me laughing as a co-signing of James's thoughts on a certain demographic of South Africa, the white women in particular. So I don't know what happened between James and the white women of Fourways, and I'm going to stay out of that one. I got enough stuff on my plate. You know what I mean,
It's
James?
Friday. I'm living my best life.
James, I hope you resolve whatever happened. Do you think they have a union, the Union of White Girls of Fourways South Africa, or something like that? So whatever happened between you and them, I hope you guys can resolve that behind closed doors before it spills over into public. You know,
I
what I
actually have a meeting at 8:00 tonight with them.
mean? Yeah,
We're meeting at Tash's.
to try and resolve whatever
Yeah.
it was that yeah, because often with conflict, the worst part you ever had whether it ends the relationship or you get to a part where it's like it's going to end or we're going to stay mates or whatever.
Yeah.
You know when the worst part of any conflict for me is that moment when you're lying in bed and it's like a day away from solving the whole thing and
Yes.
you just think to yourself, or I think to myself, how did we get here?
Mm.
You ever had that?
Yeah. Yeah. All the time.
Like how did we go so far apart that we're now in a place where we want to literally strangle each other, and if that other person died, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
How did we get here? So maybe that's what you and the white ladies that you're always quite you're never kind to them, is maybe you guys need to just sit down, maybe just you and like 4 or 5 of them, you list what makes you unhappy about the upper middle class sort of white woman, and they list whatever you've done to kind of get to get in their crawl, as they say.
You know what it is, right? So one of our
James, it's not for you to tell us. I think you need to tell them behind closed doors.
no, but this is what it is, right?
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Okay, so
This is one of the things.
yeah, this is one of many.
Oh my God.
So it's a thing of, and this sort of stems from family members, right?
Sure.
One of my favorite sports in the whole world is not football, contrary to popular belief. It's actually people watching, and when you people watch a lot, you pick up on certain habits. And
Sure.
when you live in certain areas, those habits kind of come to the surface a lot more. So when I go to a mall,
Yeah.
in a certain area,
Yeah.
it's
They tend to populate that area.
always in front of me.
And okay, and what is it about them? I mean, if you're just watching them, what is it about them that's making you so unhappy? What are they meant to do? Just
People
what are they meant to be
watching-
doing? Like a Sudoku at home?
People watching is just an incredible sport. It is, dude. It's so much fun.
No, fair enough. Okay, I think we all do it But tell me, what is it about this particular demographic that's driven you to kind of almost go over the edge? Like, why them?
I think the ridiculousness of it.
Of what? Or like, give me an example. Or what are they up to? That's
Okay, Cindy, the biggest problem in the world is not the fact that you don't have oat milk in your coffee. Like, there's a bigger problem. Like, we
Yeah.
have a pandemic. That lady over there is not wearing her mask. We need to sanitize our hands. Children are dying in Africa. The biggest problem
Mhm.
is not your, like, room temperature oat milk still water.
And where does this happen? Like, they're just sitting at the restaurant and like, excuse me,
Yeah,
excuse me.
yeah.
I said oat milk, not rice milk. Like that.
I said 3% oat milk.
Yeah.
You gave me 4.3% low-fat, double thin,
Yeah.
skimmed milk from the teat of a
Yeah.
goat.
No, I got you. And so tell me something. Are you the type of person in that situation? Because I've never ever sent stuff back. Like, I've never sent food back, and I've had, I would say, 90% of restaurants I go to, I'm like, oh, why did I? Because I don't go to restaurants, right? And my friends get annoyed with me, right? They don't say it, but I know they do, because I always suggest like the most ridiculous place to go, because I know the food's going to be good, right? Is I never ever want to go out for a meal I can make at home. Do you know what I mean? If I can make it at home, I'm not paying for it in a restaurant.
Fair enough.
It doesn't make sense to me. And always when I'm paying 400 Rand for a steak plus, I know the service should match, right?
Yeah.
So I try and I save to go out, and I'll go out for dinner or lunch maybe twice a month, because I save, like, I'm not a wealthy man, right? So I save for it, and I want it to be special, and I want it to be at the final level, right? But I've never sent anything back, because some of my friends are just, they might as well actually just be knocking rocks together, as far as I'm concerned, in this field of life. Is they'll eat anything. They'll eat anywhere. They'll eat anything. And I'm just like, don't invite me. Eventually like, a lot of my friends are starting to see now, like, just don't invite me, because otherwise I'm going to be a nightmare for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to tell the restaurant. I'm just never going to go back there, or I wouldn't pay to go there.
Yeah.
But I do love my friends. I do want to see them, even though they are absolute gorillas as far as I'm concerned, some of them. Because they'll eat anything, James. They're like you. They're monsters. You'll eat anything. Or you used to. Was that before you stopped smoking? Because
Look, but
you'll eat anything.
on my tirade of people, I'm by no means perfect. I eat anything.
Yeah, but there is this demographic who you just cannot
Yes.
stand the sight of, because, hi, Cyril.
Hi, Cyril. I don't get this. This is the one thing. Hi, Cyril.
James, I don't. You know what, James? I don't get why you hate white women, and it's very funny, because your impressions of them. We may have to put. Maybe we should start like a once a week, like, vlog of James. You should have a pseudo character where it's just, I don't know what Melanie's up to this week. We will find a name, or Jasmine, because you're James.
Yeah.
Jasmine, and I'd love to hear, because there's something in your subconscious that comes out through this medium, and I'd like to delve into that a little more, and I think people would find it very, very fascinating. To all the white women who do listen to this podcast, please, the owner of this show has no such resentment to anybody, and you are included in anybody. I'm happy in my life, and live and let live to all of you. Except the people that do go way too far with being too black or too white or too
Yeah.
Hispanic. Like, I'm going to call you out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like relax.
Yeah.
Relax, Shakira.
Look, that being said, I'm going to say it again. I'm not perfect. Like,
yeah, but you're better than them.
no, that's not what I'm saying. No. Now you're putting words in my mouth.
What you're saying is you're not perfect.
No.
But never.
That is not what I'm saying.
It'll be a cold day in hell the day someone compares him to old Jasmine and Tasha's. I hear you, James.
No.
You're not perfect. Listen, you're humble enough to say you're not perfect. But by God, you're a million times better than them.
No.
All right, James. All right. No, fair enough. Fair enough, Jimbo. Fair enough, pal.
I'm a truth broker.
I'm on your side. I'm on your side. No, good stuff. All right, so Cyril, President Cyril Ramaphosa
has a new iPad.
Shopping in James's area. Yeah, that got lit. What do you? I was going to ask you. Maybe we should finish off on this.
Right.
And I don't know if is anybody asking this. What do you think's on a president's iPad? Like I was thinking about it because obviously social media has been lit.
No, I think the more important question is...
And not just our president, any president. Like, what do you think is on a politician's iPad?
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush. Because what's he using it for?
Well, so I know that our president uses his iPad. Like, that's what he uses when he reads speeches.
Cool.
And he does our family meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's seen him whip out his iPad.
Sure.
But outside of that, maybe he takes notes or...
Do you think president, like, okay, I'm going to use a male president. Do you think they like also have a fight with their wives about, hey, why the hell is your whole Instagram front page just like these bootylicious Brazilian women?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, do you think presidents are on Instagram? Do they have the time? Like, just checking out Think Thick Badonkadonk?
No, I think...
You don't think so?
I think presidents' Instagrams, all presidents have an Instagram. I don't think it's run by them. I genuinely, that's run by a social media manager.
I've always wondered, like, I'd love to know what, because we saw what Oscar's browsing habits are, and it was just a normal dude, right? It was like cars and porn. It's just like a normal guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, because it came out, remember, they had to, and so yeah, it was all just cars, porn, and hot chicks, right? So just a dude.
Yeah.
I would love to know, I'd give anything. I would pay a month's salary to see Jeff Bezos's Instagram like scrolling, you know. I'd love to know what's he up to. Like, does Jeff Bezos or does Cyril Ramaphosa think to himself, bloody hell, this girl's good looking. Let me see what's going on and scroll like I do it. I'll look at hot girls on Instagram, you know.
Yeah.
I'd love to know. Does Jeff Bezos do that, or does he only follow Warren Buffett, Coca-Cola, Nestle? You know what I mean? I mean, at some level, we are all animals. But I'd love to know, like, imagine being Cyril Ramaphosa, one of the richest men in Africa. He's got like $2 billion, right? Give or take. Imagine your wife going, Cyril, is that what you want me to look like? Because you know how it goes, right? I don't know if have you ever had this fight with anybody? I'm single and I had this fight with the same person we were talking about just now, who's she's the most Portuguese woman in the world. But I've had this fight with her, and she's not even my girlfriend. So I can only imagine when you're in a relationship, if your girlfriend catches you and your Instagram account, you know what I mean? You know how guys are.
Is that what you want me to look like?
Yeah, is that what you want me to look like? Do you think Cyril has those kind of problems? Because that's a problem, right? Like, just because you're the president, it doesn't mean your wife isn't going to tell you, like, excuse me, put your dish in the sink. Like, that's still a part of his life. He's still human. Like, yeah. Like, excuse me, will you open the door for me? I would imagine she has that conversation with him.
Do you think on the weekends it's like, babe, what about our plans this weekend? And he's like, nah, I've got to go to Builders and get some
No, I'm seeing
wood glue or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm hanging out with Peggy this weekend. No,
Yeah.
you promised this week we were having dinner together. And no, there's a bride Peggy Cele's house. Do you think that's what's going on?
You also promised that this weekend you would finish painting the nursery.
And I think he's married, I believe, to, I might be wrong, Patrice Motsepe's sister. So she's loaded as well. Like, yeah. So you're not talking about, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Cyril, I don't know. No, well, I do know Patrice's wife. So I think, I think he's married. I stand to be corrected. Cyril Ramaphosa's wife.
Dude, even when you search Cyril Ramaphosa, the third choice is Cyril Ramaphosa iPad.
No, it's lit because we lit. But anyway, it's interesting to me. I wonder if presidents have these kinds of problems. You know what I mean? Like-
his wife is Tsepo Motsepe. So yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So already, because then she doesn't need the money. Do you know what I mean? She's not staying for the power. Like, oh, my husband's possibly Africa's richest man, or my brother. So if you don't come correct, I don't care that you're president. That's going to end in 3 years.
Yeah. I'll
You know?
I'll see you at the CAF African Championships.
But I do. Yeah. Oh, you're coming because obviously your friends are more important. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch. You know what? Plus, my brother owns a club where the old coach is now probably going to win with Al Ahly again. That's what I'm doing for the next 2 weeks. Do you know what? I'm actually having my phone off as well. And good luck, because all you care about is big. I wonder if he has those kinds of problems, dude.
I think that week where he got suspended and then somebody suspended him and he suspended someone.
Yeah.
That must have been an interesting week to be in that house.
Do you think they just went to like an island maybe she probably saw it as like, oh, here's our chance. Excellent.
Yeah.
I've already booked the trip to Bazarito and I know which villa we're going to stay in.
You've been suspended.
Yeah.
So you have no excuse.
What's your excuse now? Because you can't even go and see Beggy now. It's illegal.
But I wanted to go to Builders to get some wood glue.
Don't worry about it. What's his son's name or whatever? Andila, I think.
Yeah.
Send him. He can do that. We're away for a week. I've already booked the jet. Not even the presidential one. We're going. We're billionaires.
Varticliffe is prepared.
Yeah.
We're on our way.
We're off. Not this. I can't this weekend. It's Pirates against Chiefs.
No, it can't be Pirates Chiefs.
Or whatever.
It's Sundowns someone.
No, he doesn't support. No. You know what?
Yeah, but the
What
wife's brother, Sundowns, isn't it?
You know, when I was in a relationship, because I was actually dating two solid women who are solid humans, right?
Hopefully not at the same time.
A story for another time.
Okay.
I have run into those sorts of problems before, but for another show and a different lifetime. But I sometimes, you know, when things are going too well,
Yeah.
or sometimes if your girlfriend starts to, or your partner, I mean, but I can only speak for guys, is your girlfriend sometimes when things are going well is I don't know, people make up stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
So sometimes I used to like throwing stuff in the mix as well. Just like if you're getting aggressive, I need to throw some stuff in the mix as well. Just so.
What that they did in the past that you had?
No.
Or
Just
what do you mean?
Just like if things are going perfectly, just throw something in the mix. You know,
Yeah.
like
Like
have some. I don't know. Change your background to hot girl or whatever. Just to
just to spice things up.
stick the needle in. You know. While we're at it, if we're fighting, let's do this thing
so
properly.
toxic.
Yeah, like if we're gonna, because if you're gonna be crazy, as far as I'm concerned,
So toxic.
no. While we're at it, let's get into this. You know what I mean? Like these are the kinds of things that I do, especially if I knew there was like 2 or 3 with my one particular girlfriend. She knew that I like a certain look, and there's one like uber famous person. Sometimes I just I'll put it on my phone if you're going to be acting crazy.
That's so toxic.
Because like in that situation, I wasn't like the, we'll talk about setting up what guys should do to set up a cell phone properly to avoid relationship conflict. Anyway, that's a conversation for another time. But you ever do that? Do you think Cyril's in those kind of problems sometimes where like now she's booked the holiday, he's suspended, there is no excuse. Because unfortunately, it's not like he can, you know, as girls and guys do, lie like, oh, my boss did this and that. It's like, the problem with your job is everyone knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you can
And
say.
you're everyone's boss.
Yeah, he can't say, I'm off to work and go and have an affair.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Cyril, I'm fully aware that you're suspended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now.
Babe, I can't go. I have that meeting with Lady Pandor.
Yeah, well, he probably supports pirates just to kind of keep that romantic tension.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
He probably doesn't even like pirates.
Mhm.
In fact, Patrice Motsepe's father, one of the most famous Orlando Pirates fans in the world, it's well known that even when Sundowns play Pirates, massive family thing. And like a real thing, by the way. I'm not talking like, pretend like you and your brother supporting Man United and Liverpool. It's a real problem because his father's like a prominent Pirates fan. Like him and Ivan Koza direct. No situation. So maybe Cyril just jumps in there. Because sometimes you got to keep your partner on their toes. You know what I mean?
What's one way to become the disappointment of the family real quick? I'm just going to buy the
wrong club.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing Patrice Motsepe could ever do to make his father proud. He bought the wrong club. All right, Jimbo, we'll go to a little break.
Let's do it.
Lots of fun conversation. Yeah, who knew?
Good stuff.
Who knew an iPad would lead to these questions? If you are.
Cyril.
Cyril. James's hatred of give us a little music, James. James's hatred of white women once again is not going to be is not a reflection of the owner of this show's view upon that demographic, and certainly anybody else. James maybe just having a toxic 5 years. Who knows? Who knows what's happening? A man who is, you know what? I got to forgive James. He's just quit smoking, and it's tough for everyone. It's tough for him. It's tough for me. And you know, he's going through a tough time. He wants everyone else to go through a tough time. So shout out to him and to the president. If you're having real wife problems, shout out to you, because we all know that. That's relatable. Now, you being a billionaire, I can't relate to that. But if you're having problems with your partner, I can feel that, Mr. President. And you know, happy wife, happy life, whatever that means. Feels like something I can put on Instagram with a cool graphic in the background and maybe a filter. So shout out to the president having real life problems. You know, nice problems are still problems. Which jet should we go in? Which island should we go to? And maybe his wife just doesn't like the same restaurant. Like, give the guy a break. I mean, he's trying to turn Eskom on, you know. So shout out to El Presidente Ramaphosa, as James's walking friends might say. James Ilsley, slowly becoming a middle-aged woman. Let's be with him. Let's hold his hand on this journey, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, this is the MKT Show. See you in a bit. This is something Lewis could do.
He is by no means qualified to open a fashion label. I saw a photo of him this weekend
Wow.
arriving at the track, and it hurt my eyes. He was walking with his dog, and he
man.
was wearing these weird black and green gumboots. It was
Yeah, but
James, maybe fashion is not for you.
no, it's definitely not. James comes to work every day in sweatpants
Guys.
and a hoodie.
green gumboots. Where is the fashion?
You're not on the cutting edge, bro. He lives in Monaco. You live in Johannesburg.
exactly.
Like
Always.
who the hell? This is the world melting down. The proletariat
Yeah.
daring to tell
I
Sir Lewis
refuse.
Hamilton how to dress.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
My favorite so far was his camo dungarees. I quite like those.
Hey, Lewis is doing it. By the way, he is. You'll either love him or hate him. There is no in between. But The MKT Show. Welcome back to it. Good to be back. We are back. We were in what you call a break in the biz. Took a break. Felt good about it. Sometimes we all need a break, you know? We all need a break from work. Your work might be milking cows in the field. Might be bean counting. Big buildings in some sophisticated city in the world somewhere. All of them are jobs. Some people might say James's lady's job is dating James. That could count as a job.
That is a full-time job.
It's hard work. It's not easy. You know, people have all sorts of jobs.
It's true.
You know, some people clean sneakers. These are jobs. These are all jobs. Maybe you needed a break. We needed a break. You know, and our job's not that hard. To be fair, some people are mining. Some people are 3 kilometers down in Earth's crust, getting some natural resources out of the ground. So James one day can make what seems more and more an impossible promise to his lady one day with a ring. You know, getting a bit of gold.
I was wondering where you were going with that, and you actually came full circle. That was impressive.
You should be impressed. What's more impressive is, by the way, for those of you bean counters, or maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're dating a James type who he needs babying all the time, you know, and you just don't have time. You can't watch the show live. You can't watch the MKT show live because you actually have to put up with your boss and old, I don't know, Craig and, Bongiwe, who just won't do her job, so you got to do their jobs, and you just can't actually listen to the show live and watch it like you want to do at your desk and pretend to have spreadsheets on your screen. You can't do that. You can listen to the podcast, no problemo. You can go to cliffcentral.com, the Cliff Central app, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast, and you can get the full podcast there. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please remember to not only give us 5 stars, but please leave a comment, whether good or bad. Whether good or bad. You might say, hey, MKT's got possibly the ugliest face I've ever seen. No problemo. Just engage with the content. So if you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and a comment as well. But for now, let's get into something we do know about. It is, of course, social media with James. Jimbo, what you got for us, pal?
I will tell you. Sorry, I was just trying to see something real quick. Okay, I'm with you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
For mind-blowing social media with James.
Cool. Let's hear it.
It's not really mind-blowing. It's just social media with James.
It could be. It's not up to you to decide. You know, it's all like whenever somebody comes up to me and goes, "Oh my word, I have big news for you." I'm like, well, you know what?
Huge.
Just tell me what you've got to say, and I'll decide if it's big news. What if it's not big news?
Okay.
So you've got some stuff to tell me. Let's hear it.
So, and we don't have to go into a thing like we have in the past couple of days. It's just a sort of update on the situation.
Okay.
UEFA, Germany, and Hungary, LGBTQ plus community.
Okay.
All involved in a thing. And this was the other day. Sky had posted this on their Instagram. I think it was like a day or two after we had the discussion on the show.
Mm-hmm.
UEFA had changed their logo for Pride Month, as have most companies and
countries.
Companies, yeah. And they changed it to the sort of pride flag behind their logo or whatever it was. And they released a statement with it, and they said that today UEFA is proud to wear the colors of the rainbow. It's a symbol that embodies our core values, promoting everything that we believe in. A more just and... Yep. So they released a statement. This is a long word. Egalitarian.
What do you think egalitarian means, James? Give me... you've had this before.
Inclusive? Egalitarian. Yeah. I've never heard the word once in my life.
Oh, so you don't know what egalitarian is?
Genuinely.
Old word. Don't know why we still use it. You know, we could probably... Okay. I'd probably have to guess it's Old Greek or Latin, used famously by your old mate James. Socrates carried on to Aristotle. An egalitarian society is a more caring society, and egalitarianism linked to equality. A very big problematic word, but it is a deeply philosophical word. To be egalitarian is often viewed to be equal. Egalitarianism in a society is to say, hey, James and Bulelo should have the same opportunities to fulfill, to seek while we're at it, what Aristotle famously called eudaimonia. But we're not going to get into that. So, egalitarian.
Right.
Mhm.
It goes on to say some people have interpreted UEFA's decision to turn down the city of Munich's request to illuminate their stadium in the rainbow colours for the Euro 2020 match as political. On contrary, the request itself was political, linked to Hungarian football team's presence in the stadium for today's match with Germany. So the reason it was turned down was because... So the reason Germany wanted to do it was because of Hungary's stance on the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay.
That's why Germany wanted to do it. They wanted to make a statement. UEFA, as a means of everyone, just relax, guys. Let's please everyone, kind of. Decided to turn it down. However, they've come to a solution.
Who?
UEFA and Germany.
Okay.
Right. So, obviously, UEFA told Munich's mayor that they could not illuminate the Allianz Arena.
Okay.
So Germany was like, lol, joke's on you. You didn't say anything about Berlin, Frankfurt, Munich, Wolfsburg, and Cologne. Because stadiums in those cities were lit up with the pride flag.
Okay.
As a sort of, you may have turned this down, Hungary, but we're proud of the LGBTQ plus community. So it's all just a very sort of...
Listen, we know the Germans are not scared to go against the rest of the world. They have done it before. Not so long ago. So, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the Germans they do their own thing. Okay, so it's the Allied forces again against the German Empire. No, it's not quite that. That's a little ridiculous. Okay. Interesting. I find that very interesting on Germany's part.
Also, Neuer in a post-match interview the other night, apparently, so he kept touching his face, but he still had the pride armband for that game.
Okay.
But in the interview, he kept touching his face, but the armband was here. And people took that as him constantly sort of...
Oh, did he wrap it around his hand?
Yeah. And he kept scratching his nose or whatever it was.
Yeah. No, he's having because
Yeah.
I've told you what he does after Bayern Munich win the treble every season is he'll release Instagram videos of him like doing sit-ups with the the trophy in his hands, and then he'll do another one of him doing maybe, I don't know, whatever, a different exercise, like a squat with a different trophy in his hands. So he's not shy to get involved, you know.
I like him.
Interesting. I find that very interesting on Germany's part. But I guess you know who's done them all a favor is Hungary, and in fact the Germans by scoring by Goretzka's goal, because imagine Hungary was still in the tournament.
Oh, lol.
Oh. And the one thing that corporates cannot deal with is controversy. It's not built into the business model. They don't know what to do because they think people are scared of controversy, right? Like Joe Rogan's the biggest broadcaster in the world now. Like, we know people aren't scared of controversy. Don't worry about it. But again, it's a bunch of old pen pushers. They cannot stand any form of controversy because this issue is not actually that difficult to deal with. But when you've got people who are trying to people please instead of actually deal with the issue, this is what happens, right? The greatest thing that happened for UEFA and Germany's politicians is Hungary conceding that second goal, because
And I must say, like, UEFA's PR team in everything is just incredible, because they managed to turn away the Super League and get that abolished and come out looking like the good guys. They managed to go through this whole situation and also come out like the good guys with rebranding their logo for the rest of the month, and we support gay pride, and the reason why we did it was because of it's Hungary's fault. It's not ours, it's Hungary. Like, we the good guys, remember? So UEFA's PR team is just
no, what they are is politicians. And I've said this before. It's why I want the Super League. I don't like politicians at all, personally, at all. I have no respect for them. They scare me. What kind of person would take a mediocre paying job that isn't thankless for the rest of their lives? It already tells you you're dealing with. Anyway, UEFA. All right, here we are. But shout out to everyone, I guess, involved. And anyway.
Let's stick with UEFA, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because why not? Big news last night. UEFA are abolishing the away goals rule from club competitions. That begins at the start of the 2021-2022 season. So the start of this season coming up, there will be no more away goals rule in the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, and I think the Nations League is also a UEFA competition, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all UEFA club... Oh, it's club competitions. All UEFA club competitions, no more away goal rule.
No more away goal.
And the picture that I saw last night when this broke on one of the accounts was a picture of Lucas Moura celebrating, because obviously that night when Tottenham beat Ajax to go through to the final.
Yes.
Well, that was quite funny that they used that image.
Yeah, that's a tricky one because the hardcore football fan sees that, because now it actually doesn't matter where you get drawn, because what you always wanted was the home draw second, right?
Yeah.
You could control. You want to go away, give it a proper go, get that away goal, and then you defend. But I guess the argument, and I haven't read that article because I find it, I don't know why they're changing, but the problem with that is that home teams don't attack, because it's actually more beneficial to attack when you're away, and then it becomes cagey. Both legs become cagey now. Like now, it's just whatever the scoreboard says. Let's have a go, and you can play more naturally.
And it actually shows, like in the group stages, the games sort of happen, and those can go either way. But when we get to like rounds of 16 and the sort of knockout rounds where away goals apply, it actually kind of you see the difference in football, because the teams are aware of this away goal rule. So it makes me wonder if it was a decision to sort of make football more exciting, or what the actual sort of decision behind it was.
One of our listeners, Shimi, who we've had on the show, put a great tweet. He replied to me saying, I find it to be madness. But he said, why couldn't they start with, okay, the away goals rule is done after full time. Whatever it is after full time, if we still draw, let's... and by the way, if nobody wins on that away goal rule, I think that's what he was saying, is if we're even at that time, the away goal thing is over. From extra time onwards, it's whatever's on the scoreboard.
I'd pay.
Just as a start. But yeah, I'm not sure. Listen, ultimately, UEFA's biggest problem, actually, I know what their biggest problem is. It's every stage before the quarterfinals. It's useless.
Oh, they're trying to make it exciting.
No, because it's not a good sport is a TV show. It's why the NFL have got it right. 32 teams, everybody knows what's happening, and they can create the TV show. And that's why the Premier League is the best, right? Is they can create the TV show. We know the fixtures. We know where the tension is. Like with UEFA, because they're actually not sports people, a lot of them, again, pen pushers and politicians, is that they don't understand. And maybe someone's come and said something. Maybe Arsene Wenger and David Gill, who's now involved at UEFA, has said, listen, you're a TV show. Everything in entertainment is about competitive tension.
Yeah.
And what this does, again, is it makes for a better TV show. Now, who'll hate this is proper hardcore football fans. But what they're telling you is, actually, we've looked at the data and analytics, is the hardcore sports fan is such a tiny part of any sport. It's about mass consumption, It's for the because also it's what Super Rugby got wrong, is the complexity of the away goal rule for people who kind of watch football as well. Is, to me, it's pretty simple. I don't know what people don't understand still, but I'm a hardcore football fan. Is to most people is you never want to add complexity to the outcome of a game, because the tension and the passion, really what you want. Did I win? Did I lose? Don't matter away goal and did your mom tickle your shoulder before you left home? It started to feel like that, which is where Super Rugby went crazy. It was like nobody knew. As a consumer, please just be Netflix. I don't want to think. I want to click. I want to watch. When you add complexity now, who's that for? It's for the hardcore. Hardcore fans are such a tiny part. And pen pushers listen to data. They don't listen to feelings and people, actually. They listen to data. And Seferin's probably had a look at the data. Is we're losing people, especially, when you lose people, you know who else looks at data? Coca-Cola. It's like for the next round of negotiations. You know what, gentlemen, is we're going to slash that price in half because we've seen actually until the last 8 teams play. It's all malarkey here. What's happening?
Very disappointed.
Your TV show sucks for the first of the 6 months your show's on. 20 days are useful to me as Coca-Cola. You're going to sort that out? Maybe this is a start.
I'm incredibly disappointed in you.
What's that?
Wow, Mr. Diehard football fan over here. Coca-Cola? Really? Dude, it's Pepsi. Everyone knows it's Pepsi.
Oh, is Pepsi the sponsor? Well, Coca-Cola's on now with Ronaldo and UEFA in there. What are you talking about?
Champions League.
Oh, is it Pepsi?
It's always Pepsi. Messi
No,
does
you're
the Lays and the Pepsi.
All
thing
those
and
ads, yeah. Don't know, James. At 8% body fat, I don't drink sodas.
I don't think I've had a soda in a week.
Oh, geez, stop smoking and a soda. Whew. Jeez, James, are you ready for this amount of change?
No, I woke up this morning with a really tight chest, and I was like,
Is that anxiety laden or?
No, apparently it's a smoking thing. So
Ma-
that can happen for the first 3 weeks while your body. Apparently, it's your body telling you that it's repairing itself.
How does
There's a lot of gunk that it's trying to get out.
How does the song go from that guy?
Oh, that narrows it down.
I'm trying to think how I can describe him. Creep, which is a good song by TLC, by the way. By that, Cretin. Anyway, the song goes, is it my mind is telling me yes, but my body is telling me yeah.
Is it? It's not John Newman.
No,
it's I know what song you're talking about.
Yeah, no, everybody knows.
It's telling me no.
No, well, we also know the guy. Don't worry about looking the guy up. Yeah.
Do we know the guy?
Yeah, we do. Very famous. He sang the Space Jam song.
But then why am I not look? Why don't we? Okay, we've digressed.
Yeah, the remix to Ignition, he also did that.
We've digressed.
Yeah, R. Kelly is the guy you're looking for.
That's the boy.
Yeah, sleazeball.
Alrighty, and on that note, we move on.
All right, James' tight chest.
So I wanted to get your opinion on something, right?
Let's hear it.
I read something this morning.
I'm not one to give my opinion, but I'm happy to give it to you, James.
Oh yeah, you're very conservative.
Yeah.
So I read this morning on Facebook, goal.com. They had released an article that says Suarez, Cavani, and the sad end to Uruguay's golden era.
Yes.
And it's essentially an article about how they've essentially led the Uruguayan squad through this modern era, but they've barely had a shot on goal at the Copa America. So my question to you, good sir, is where is the lapse or the gap between South American and Spanish football, in the sense that Messi plays for Barca and he's a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Suarez plays for
Uruguay.
Well, he plays for Barca or Atletico, and
Atletico Madrid.
He's a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
But then, or Cavani plays for United, scores a couple of goals. Not really a superstar, but he's on form most of the time, right?
He's proper.
But when some of these, or most of these South American superstar at club level players go on international duty, it's kind of like they're not really there. Like Aguero also, mega club legend, superstar, whatever you want to call him. But for Argentina, he's not really that. He's good, but Messi's just, who knows. Suarez apparently at the Copa America, Cavani apparently also. So my question is, where is the gap? Why is there a gap? Is there a gap?
Yeah. In terms of their performance at that level versus the reality of what they actually are.
Well, it's obviously two different styles of football and 2 different teams, right, for each player. Why is there the shift if players? I'm not going to use Ronaldo as an example because
Listen, you live in South Africa. It's exactly the same thing. All right, South America. Not sure if you've had the pleasure of going there yet.
no,
Very comparable to here. Listen, Brazil had a dictatorship until the mid '80s. Like a lot of people think that was 800 years ago. They had a proper, full-on military dictatorship until the '80s, and some say actually they still live in a dictatorship now. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. Argentina collapsed. The land of course, Argentina, famously known as the Alba Celeste, and the blue and whites, and the land of silver. It's famously known as Argentina. And they had an economic collapse in the early 90s, but late 80s. So these are countries where you say what you will about the histories, of course. Those lead to certain conditions. And on both continents, the problem is the same, is that we have not found out how to establish rules. And some people say both continents still too young to really have tried and tested rules and seen the benefits of those, is that there's no structure, dude. So there's a lack of respect for rules. And, I guess it's probably on a deep philosophical conversation. I'm not smart enough. I'm not the person to probably have that conversation with. But in reality, I believe I come from a home where there's rules. If you don't respect rules, you want to fail. Like, it's just how life is, especially the more and more people you have, and it starts within a household. If there's no order in your household, I don't know if you've known any families that just fell apart because the parents are a disaster, in fact, all it takes is the father or the mother to be a disaster, and the whole thing's broken. The kids might be the greatest kids in the world. So ultimately, it's the same problem as South Africa, is that the talent's not the issue. And I've always said, Europe's greatest problems, there are mechanical engineers with master's degrees as waiters. You understand? Is you must always have an oversupply of administrators, right? And always be seeking, bloody hell, where's the talent? The problem in our places is that the talent is everywhere, but we don't know what to do because we don't have any administrators. And you know what? To administrate, you know what you need is a respect for rules. Every single football side, if you look at football teams, they look exactly like the mentality of their country. There's some really, really interesting studies about how football teams, if you actually look at them, they embody their country. And the reason European teams have largely is because I know that people hate the European Union, but largely for the last 30 years, Europe's been extremely stable. People think Spain, have always been winning. No, they've they didn't win from when? The 60s? I don't know when their last World Cup was there. Spain's an extremely unstable place to live. Greece. You couldn't pay me to live in Greece.
Oh, 2010 was Spain's first World Cup.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to live in Greece. There are parts of Spain you couldn't pay me, and I live in South Africa. You couldn't pay me to live in those places. Shanty towns. There is nothing you could pay me to live in Portugal. There's regions in Portugal where they don't know if they're going to have vegetables on the counter, in the stores. In Greece, it's like living in anywhere in Africa, right? You have to be organized, dude. Those South American countries are not organized. They had Diego Maradona as the coach in 2010, at the height of his coke fiend. What are we doing? Can you tell me right now? Can you imagine Germany having Queen Latifah as their coach?
That's horrifying.
But that's having Diego Maradona. How dare you, as anything, have Diego Maradona, a well-known mafioso and drug addict, as the coach? I'm sorry, I don't care how much you love him. There's lots of people I love. I don't want them running my books. I don't want them as my financial advisor. Do you know what I'm saying? Didn't I say it this week? Is the popular decision and the right decision are not always the same thing. They're never the same thing, actually. Because the popular decision is actually more often than not the wrong decision.
Yeah.
But it's why. You know why Germany wins? You know why Australia wins? You know why England wins? There's rules. There's rules, pal. You don't go to the UK, Her Majesty's Revenue, Franz Beckenbauer, Uli Hoeneß know exactly what a tax system is. Both have served their time. Uli Hoeneß, if he was in South Africa, would have not have seen a moment in jail. If he was in Argentina. You know what I mean? Corruption erodes everything. If you don't realize that corruption at state level erodes everything, including the football. Including this, it's a mess. It's a mess. So in order for talent to flourish, it's why I always, I don't know why people think they should send their young kids to me every now and then to have a word about their career path. But I always say, don't worry about seeking money early on in your career. Seek leadership. It's impossible to find anywhere in the world. Seek leadership. Don't worry about the money. If you're good, they'll find you. In the corporate world especially. Don't worry about it. Is you have to have structure and systems for talent to succeed. And I know young people always think, I can do it myself, whatever. You have no idea. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care if you're Bill Gates. Yeah, you had to go to Harvard. They knocked him in place for a year or two. Even, who's your Facebook, Zuckerberg. Yeah, Harvard, they knocked him in place, right? Dropped out, but he was still there a year or two. You understand what rules are, structure, how the world actually works. There must be structure, dude. There's no structure in South America. It's all, it's the Wild West. And it's exactly the same problems as South Africans, I'm sure, have at Bry's every single week. Rassie Erasmus came, put structure, what happened? Jake White came, put structure, what happened? Kitch Christie came, put structure, what happened? We won. Structure. You need rules, dude. And I know we live in this #LetMeBe time. Rules. If you don't have rules, which is why a lot of people aren't for me, because I can see how you live your life. And it's like, oh, you're not into rules. Sorry. I can see down the line. Because I think rules, the way I was raised, my old man raised me, rules are not for when things are going well. All right? Rules are for when things go badly, which is why Christians have what? The 10 Commandments. Those aren't for when things are going well. Right? Is you need rules for when things go wrong. Oh, okay, what do we fall back on? We call it a system, right? People call it a system. There's no system in Argentina, South America, Uruguay. Who looks after the coaching? Where's the next level of coaching? How many of the top sports scientists at Uruguay where are the players staying? Right? You know that at Atletico Madrid. Suarez knows this. When he comes back to La Masia, right? Leo Messi knows where he's staying. It sounds stupid, but little things like that is, when is my interview? What time is it? Okay, is it going to be on time? Am I doing it from home? Is it Zoom? Is it live? Is it, what time's my massage? Does every player in our team get the best masseuse? Because I can guarantee you Spain does. I can it seems like little things, but those little things, the great Japanese saying is little things, if you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. And it's called administration, pal. Systems take care of the little things. Systems don't take care of high-end stuff. That's why who's usually in systems? Nerds, right? In the background. Yeah, they take care of what they call the back end. Without systems, you cannot be elite without systems, mate. And there is no system, there are no rules. So Leo Messi can't flourish? Of course not. Of course not. And it must be the worst thing in the world for him. Diego Maradona probably flourished because that's his world. That's his world. He loves it. Chaos, mafia. I mean, Maradona probably flew on a different plane for all I know. Right? He loved it. Leo Messi's he's lived in Catalonia since he was 13. So for Suarez and that great Uruguayan, by the way, Uruguay, Montevideo, great. I think I've told you this. You need to go to Montevideo, unbelievable place. But the rest of the country, shantytown. So same problems as South Africa. No, anywhere where you go, right? You go to a company. If the talent is higher than the leadership and administration, it's a mess. And we live in South Africa. I don't need to tell you that. Yeah. So sad, but I know the problem only too well. I live in South Africa, so sad. And a true golden generation. I mean, with the front three, when it was Diego Forlan, of course Luis Suarez, and El Matador himself. Wow.
That was a vibe. Alrighty. That's good stuff. Shall we jump into comments?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's finish off Friday. It is 25th.
Right in.
I hope, before we dive on in, as Roger from American Dad might say, you seen that show, James?
I have.
You ever seen the episode where he opens a dive bar in the upstairs?
No.
And his payoff line is dive on in. And then he just starts saying it all the time. So go look up dive on in. Roger the alien. Compared to one Sia Sangweni who works here, people have said Sia is actually Roger in real life, which is very funny. Sia Sangweni today, his last day at Cliff Central for those who watch the Gareth Cliff Show. Indeed, shout out to Sia. Incredible job done, and all the best to him in his new career. But James, let's dive on in.
Let's dive.
Also, before we dive on in, is
I've
Shout
done that
out-
twice now.
Sorry. Hey, as the classic saying goes, 3 times a charm.
Okay.
But I just want to say this. Shout out to all the people that are planning the fake external meetings at work right now and listening to this live. Shout out to you having an external meeting that has to happen with their marketing manager at O'Hagan's. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, ma'am, also.
I'm just going out to secure the client at Dross.
It's basically what we've got left, Jimmy, is we just got to sort of sign a little. You're not. It's just about dotting the I's and crossing the T's now. And I got to go meet her there. And I thought today would be all right because I've wrapped up all the admin and I'll see you on Monday. But the meeting's quite important. And I just thought, I like to shake a hand still. I'm old school.
But tell me, why are we signing Dross if we're a paper company?
Yeah, no, listen, I got to go. I got to go. I mean, I'm late already. Anyway. All right, James, now we can dive on in.
Can I do it for the 3rd time now? Dive on in. It's actually a lot of fun to do.
Awesome.
Wakes you up.
Glad you enjoyed that. By the way, if you're on YouTube, please click like on the content.
Yeah, do it right now.
Even if you don't like it. Or dislike, by the way. Either. I don't mind as long as you engage with it.
Just do one of them now
That's it.
so that you don't have to do it later.
Well said.
Easy. Could have done it. In the time I was saying that, could have done it. And that. And that.
Let's dive on in.
And that.
We're going to dive on in.
And that. Okay. So Tristan says, facts. I'm glad there is someone that agrees that Neymar is not even close to the greats of football.
I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. Like,
No.
okay, we've seen it now. We like the charade and the marketing. Like, I love it. He's Mr. Samba, whatever. That's awesome, bro. But on the football field, give me N'Golo Kante any day. Or give me someone
All
else.
the time.
Already Mbappe has put him to shame.
Shimmy says, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo looks like Pascal's boyfriend. Don't know what that means. Is good looking. Do you understand how rich he is? No one is ugly. They just aren't rich enough.
Now, the reference on the first one is one of the greatest references, and I totally forgotten about this. So I worked at a resort called Tiffendale, so one of South Africa's 2 ski resorts, right? And I worked with a lady there. I won't say her name. And she had a thick Durbanite accent.
Easy.
Yeah, no, I don't want.
That
Well,
was.
what did you do
not,
there?
That was not Durban.
But she was like a thick Durbanite. She lived on the bluff. And she also had a tongue ring. When they every now and then.
Gracious.
Anyway, so she had a thing, and this is exactly what she sounded like. She's like, guys, my boyfriend looks like Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, don't.
No, 100%. Like, everywhere we go, people stop us and they say, is that Cristiano Ronaldo?
Oh, no.
No, she'd say, and my boyfriend looks like Cristiano Ronaldo. And so I know, so Shimmy, very close friend of mine, I told a few people this, and wow, what a throwback that is, because that happened in probably 2007, 2008, yeah, around there.
That hurt my ears.
My boyfriend looks like Cristiano Ronaldo. So
Ew.
there you have it. Throwback to, oh, well, he said her name. Throwback to, shout out Pascal. Yeah.
Shimmy also says, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
By the way, couldn't agree more. Nobody, I know this, I figured it out. I just need to get, I'm not good looking. A lot of my friends are. The problem is they're also richer than me. Now that's annoying. So no girls ever look at me. I need to get richer. I'm not ugly. I've convinced myself this, and you will not tell me different, James. I'm just poor. So shout out to Shimmy for
I
pointing
don't
that
plan
out.
on telling you different. I told you.
Yeah. So I need to get rich, dude.
You're
That's all.
repulsive to women. Remember?
No, I'm poor. So the fact that I'm poor makes me repulsive. When I get rich, whoo, James, I might have 4 girlfriends at the same time.
Oh, no, that's a terrible trait.
Why, James? Why is that?
Oh, I mean, it just... You know what? Never mind.
One
I
at a time.
suppose it depends on whether you're monogamous or... What's it called? There's another one.
Yeah. Polyamorous,
Yeah.
polygamous. There's many. Listen, so...
Who am I to tell you what's wrong and what's right? I'm just a 24-year-old who thinks he knows everything.
And hates white women.
And nope, that's not the truth.
All right. Okay.
I almost walked right into that one.
So you're saying, much like milk tart, relationships is better just one at a time.
You want one milk tart at a time?
You don't want to be having more than one milk tart.
Straight up, I'll have like 23.
Maybe that's why your girlfriend...
Milk tarts are good, bro.
That's why your girlfriend's saying to you,
Milk that.
you need to lose a bit of the
the
midsection, James. But you're not having milk tart from now, are you? Because you're on a health drive now.
I don't think I've had a milk tart in months
It's because you're on a health drive.
without even knowing it.
Imagine you had a milk tart now, though. Now that you aren't a disgusting smoker and you can actually taste it.
Imagine that.
You have no idea. So you don't actually know. You need to record that because that's content, dude. The first time you have a milk tart, now that you aren't a disgusting smoker.
No, that's not even it.
Let's hear
The
it.
first time I have a cheesecake.
Okay, but you're not eating cheesecake now because you're on a health drive, aren't you?
Nope, I'm having a cheesecake. I've decided this weekend I'm having a cheesecake.
What about the health drive?
I've decided
Health can wait.
Life is short.
Yeah, that's true, dude.
And I
Screw it.
feel like I've done really well for the last week.
Dorito. Oh, this is such. James, you are developing into a full-on, like, upper middle class housewife.
Everybody gets a cheat day.
You're walking, and now, you know what, babe? You know what, James? You've been so good this week. You deserve it. Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to go to Mug and Bean at
Oh.
Four Ways More and get the biggest
All right,
slice.
do
of
me a
cheesecake.
favor. What's next? I mean, James is in front of our eyes developing into... And James, shout out to your truth, dude. If you're going to become a middle-aged woman right in front of us, awesome. That's
Just
cool,
living
dude.
my truth, man.
He's going to get home and walk. All right, James, what else we got, Bob?
Shimmy says, what are your thoughts on this seemingly close deal of Jack Grealish heading to Man City for a record-breaking £100 million? I didn't know that was a thing. I'm not going to lie.
They made the £100 million bid.
I thought that was the Kane thing. Kane was 100
Jack
million.
Grealish. Kane was 100 million. Well, could be Jack Grealish as well. I think he's an upgrade on anything they've got on that left side. If anything, that's their weak side, right? It's Zinchenko and Sterling. He's better than Sterling. On the right, they
and
play
also
Mahrez.
Sterling's getting old and slower.
No, he's not good, and he's not good.
He's just
Like
not the
Mario.
vibe.
No, although he's not that old. He's still in his 20s. You must remember, Raheem Sterling started at 16. So he's another one of those where you might think he's old. I think Raheem Sterling's probably, 26, 27 still? He feels old because he's been around forever, and he left Liverpool still really young, James. How old is Raheem Sterling?
He's 26.
Yeah. No, he feels
Wow.
like he's been around forever just because he was what they call a precocious talent there, James. A wunderkind. Is that, but he's just not good. Like,
No.
it's not that he's run out of steam. He was always at this level. He had one season where he was unplayable. That was 2 seasons ago. And he's playing well, but this is his level, right? Is the problem, what happened with Raheem Sterling?
He left Liverpool. That was the issue.
No, every good player has done that to go and win something. Every great player has done that. So he left Liverpool and, he's won, 4 titles now, Raheem Sterling. 4. Raheem Sterling alone has 4 more Premier League titles than the whole of Liverpool. Or 3 more, sorry. What happened is, we do this in life all the time, is you are not your best year in life or your best day, and you're not your worst day, right? What you are is the median of everything else that's left. So whenever you want to do a proper analysis of yourself, take out your best day, take out your worst day in the week. Take that out, and the rest is what you actually are. Raheem Sterling, if you take out his worst year, best year, he's a Tottenham player.
Yeah, I think he's...
In reality.
Yeah.
So Jack Grealish, 100, how much?
100 mil.
Makes sense. English tax. John Stones cost 50 million a couple of years ago, and he's a centre-back. Jack Grealish is the most marketable thing going right now, and actually the best player. Like, in terms of talent, Harry Kane is putting out the best numbers. But just in terms of, oh my goodness, look at that guy. Jack Grealish is the best, dude. Man City probably want to position him because he's the next guy. I mean, the marketing you can do around Jack Grealish, Jack the lad, he's the guy, right?
Mm.
Awesome. 100 mil. It's nothing. They'll make that back in a year. It's nothing. It's nothing. Plus, think about it. You get rid of what? You get rid of Mendy at left back there, maybe. They might have another cheaper solution. You get rid of Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling, what do you think he'll go for? 26, English, multiple Premier League winner. He'll cost 50 million. Easily.
Yeah,
Ben
45, 50-ish.
James, Ben White, a centre-back who's played 1 season for Brighton, is costing Arsenal 50 million, 45 million.
Sterling's going for 150 mil.
No,
Watch.
but I mean, seriously, Raheem Sterling still has a resume and he's still a good age. I'd say you could get 60 million for Sterling.
Yeah, easy.
60, 70 mil. So, in reality, I mean, Grealish is so much better than Sterling. Like, let's be honest. It's just so much better. No. 100 mil, nothing.
Sterling.
Plus, you can make the sales, dude. I mean, who they've got people to let go of. Maybe to get rid of Laporte as well, because they've got Nathan Ake. You get rid of Laporte, you can fetch 50 million for Laporte if he stays in England. Another club, maybe PSG, will take 45 mil. You know, they're buying everyone anyway. So I think ultimately they can fund that Grealish deal internally. Push comes to shove, Bernardo Silva, cheers. Although I wouldn't, because I think Bernardo's unbelievable. Push comes to shove, you're going to get 60 million, 70 million for Bernardo, 50 million for Raheem Sterling, 20 mil for Mendy at left back, and Laporte will fetch, 35, 40 million?
Probably,
at the very least. So they'll find the money to make that. Great business. Great business from every angle. Grealish is English. We know that comes with the marketing side. And he's brilliant.
I don't think Villa have or will ever see such a payday like that ever.
Yeah. No, it's
100 mil.
It's a good point.
Andrew Harrison replied to Shimon.
To be clear, if I'm Jack Grealish, I wouldn't leave though.
No.
And not because he should be scared. I think he's more than good enough to play for Man City. I just believe there are certain unique people like Steven Gerrard in the end. Resentment that he didn't come to Chelsea. I would have loved to see how it would have worked. Him, Essien, and Lampard. I always think about where that would have gone. You know, because Makelele was on the out. Imagine Essien, Lampard, and Gerrard at their peak as well for like 3-4 years. Wiped it all off. I mean, that would have been like having Keane and Paul Ince at a stage. Man United had that. And Paul Scholes at the same time. Man United had Paul Scholes, Paul Ince, the governor, and Paul Scholes, Paul Ince, and Roy Keane at a stage with Nicky Butt as the backup. Think of that. Like, you too young, James, but Paul Ince literally called, and the reason he had to leave, he of course went to Liverpool. Well, Inter Milan after that, but he was a Liverpool legend as well. Paul Ince at a stage was unplayable. Just like, it was like having two Roy Keanes on there. And then you had Paul Scholes as well. Like, oh, he's not bad. Pass him the ball. He's going to shoot from 30 yards and it's going into the top corner. And by the way, you can pass it 80 yards wherever you want. So, Paul Ince, United, 90s. Keane, Ince together. That would have been Gerrard, Lampard, and Essien together. Unplayable. And then you got whoever you want off the bench. Just imagine that. But anyway, my point is, it's such a unique relationship between him and Aston Villa. There are certain guys, just for the story of football, I just wish they'd stay. I wish Grealish would stay. Like, imagine he got Villa to the Champions League, which is possible. Look at some of their spending. I mean, they beat Arsenal to Buendia, and they had a go at Emile Smith Rowe. I like these new Villa owners. They're like, yeah, we're here to play, right? I think it would mean more to Jack Grealish, and it might sound stupid. It would mean more to Jack Grealish, especially, you must remember, football wanted to throw Jack Grealish away. Aston Villa protected him in those terrible years where they got relegated and he was involved in a few things off the pitch. Of course, he is Birmingham through and through. Wouldn't it be an awesome thing for it to come full circle and then he gets into the Champions League? I think it would mean more to play one game for Aston Villa in the Champions League than it would to win a Premier League title to him. And I know it sounds crazy, but this relationship's special. It's like that Gerrard relationship. Matt Letizia could have played at Real Madrid, you know, but ultimately in the end, he must be so happy, dude. Like, when your own people love you, and when it's reciprocal. I mean, I'm not one for reciprocal behavior in general, but that's a whole other conversation. But this is like, it would be the ultimate, dude. If he stayed and they got to the Champions League, imagine the day he's having in Birmingham. If he goes to City and they win the league, for him, cool, but why? And I've always wondered, like, for unique figures like Jack Grealish and Steven Gerrard and these types of guys, because those are unique. He's once in a lifetime. The last one properly was Gerrard. Is like, what can you do? I've always wondered in life. Dude, he's probably on £150,000 a week at Aston Villa or whatever, right? Somewhere around there. What else is he going to offer him? 200,000, 250 a week? What can you do with 250,000 that you can't with 150,000 a week? Honestly, if it's 400,000, okay, you're starting to change your life now. But if it's 250 versus 150, what can you do with 250,000 that you can't with 150,000 a week? Honestly, like, be honest, at that level, they buy the same thing. If are City offering you £1 million a week, okay, then I understand. Sometimes the love of, especially in football, it's one of the last few things where that matters. The relationship with the fans, and he's one of them. It's so cool for the narrative of the Premier League and for England, I think. if he stays and it's just Jack the Lad with the Brummies, they call them, if you're from Birmingham, you know. But yeah, so I'd love to see him stay, and I'd stay if I'm Jack, because they're gonna give you everything, and he's got that side of him, right? He's a lad. If he slips up once, Pep Guardiola's not gonna forgive him. Then what, dude?
Oof.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Memphis Depay when he went to United. Zaha went to United. Like Zaha at Crystal Palace, probably still the same guy. You know, Memphis Depay went to Lyon, probably still the same guy. But it's like, you know, James, if you're full of malarkey with your mates or out in public, what do people do? They'll smack you in the face. If you do that at home, what does your mom do? She forgives you, right? It's a very different relationship. Jack the Lad, don't leave. But I think interesting. And from City side, I don't know which side Shima was asking for, but 100 mil, bargain, absolutely nothing. He's absolutely the cult figure in England right now. You will make that back in one off season.
It's
Harry Kane, I have more of a problem with than this. I'm not sure what the business side of Harry Kane is, and he's old and injury prone.
Harry Kane for me is a.
Because for me, I don't get it. What does Harry Kane bring that you aren't doing already now? You won the league without him. You dominated the league without him. You were in the Champions League final. Like, what does Harry Kane add now that you don't have?
Yeah.
Whereas Jack Grealish, totally get it. Because he takes you to another level. You bring Jack. Now you got to deal with Mahrez and Jack Grealish and Bernardo Silva. Boy. Harry Kane, you've got Gabriel Jesus still. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, yeah. Anyway, bargain. All right, what else we got, Jimbo?
Damn, that City squad. Huh?
Oh.
Andrew Harrison says, replying to Shimmy, I hope it happens. Sounds fun. Whether it works out or not, I'm happy to give Villa 100 million. I don't have massive faith in Grealish. We can make it a sports show in the comments.
Listen, the Grealish thing, sometimes you got to know yourself. Is some people operate well when they're a big fish in a small pond. It's just for some people. And that, I think you're starting to see it a little bit with Paul Pogba. Is that, you know, in a small pond, the proverbial small pond, is they babysit you. And France, what do? They defer to Pogba, right? It's all about Pogba. And what does he need? Comes to Man United, sorry, pal, pitch up or get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? Is for some people is like when you have to be in the big pond out with the sharks, they don't like that environment. It's a personality thing. As Jack the Lad might enjoy being the god, right? When he goes to Man City, you're just another dude. And people think that doesn't matter. It matters. It matters big time. And we've seen it with players before. Wilfred Zaha looks like a different player when he's at Crystal Palace. Because actually, that's the Wilfred Zaha Man United bought. But when he's at Man United, no one's coddling him.
I like Wilfred.
You know, no one's checking up on you at Man United. We expect you to have the personality. We expect you to be ready. And by the way, also, so we have the highest expectations in the world, and we're not going to pat you on the back for being professional. You know what I mean? Whereas at Crystal Palace, it's almost like, oh, Wolf is here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's the guy.
And even if he is late, aye, Wolf. Whereas at Man United, that's a problem. If he's like, we don't do jewelry in our Man United suits. I'm just giving you examples of what some personality. Because listen, Jack might get to Man City, and it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, it could happen. And I think maybe Mendy this was part of the problem. Is Pep might go, cut that hair, pal, and you're gonna pull those socks up. He might. I'm not saying he will. How does he respond? Do you know what I mean? Whereas at Aston Villa, they're like, oh, make the socks shorter. We want to see the calves more. Yes, Jack, he's so funny. He's 20 minutes late. He's drinking and driving outside. You know, he got caught for drinking and driving. So, Jack, we'll pay the fine.
Jack. Really, Jack?
At Man City, that's not tolerated. Because we expect you to be professional here. And, you know, most of us in life we want to be rewarded for when we do the right thing.
Yeah.
At Man City, we expect you to do the right thing. What are we rewarding you for? That's a whole different mindset, dude. And we've seen what it did to Memphis Depay. And I honestly, people think I hate Paul Pogba. I don't. I just don't think Man United works for him because unlike Juventus, they aren't going to cater to all of his needs. Get on with it, pal. So, yeah, it's a good point by Andrew Harrison. Great point.
Zapeta says, how much money does City have to be spending 200 million on Grealish and Kane?
So, well, plenty. I mean, you got to think of the Champions League rights that they'll get for the money from the Champions League this season. Because remember, every round you go, you get more. They won the league. That comes with different commercial rights. And I believe, I've been reading articles, as we transition now, financial fair play, there might be a moratorium. So you might see Chelsea as well go again. I mean, they may go Haaland, and you saw them nearly going to 80 million. You can see PSG. I mean, they're buying everybody. It should be impossible. Hakimi at 80 mil. I mean, who else are they buying? They got Donnarumma at keeper. I believe they're chasing Haaland.
Donnarumma was free though.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think his salary is? 500,000, 600? So, so Donnarumma is free. But I mean, you can see some of the big clubs. Chelsea are talking about Haaland at 150 million, and they're not even blinking, and they're buying other players. So I believe that as we transition now, UEFA are putting financial fair play on hold. I stand to be corrected. I've been reading a few articles about that. So
they are.
Plus, remember, Man City can sell players as well. They've got assets.
Good old Man City with the money, huh? They've always got the money.
Yeah, it's all about the money. It's all about the dum da da dum dum. You don't know the reference because you are 5.
Oh, it's all about the money.
No, terrible. It's all about the money. 90s. Don't worry about it.
We're a sports show.
Don't worry about it.
Shimi says, I'm interested to see how that works. Pep doesn't take cock, and I really just question Grealish's professionalism. Villa can buy their way into the ESL with that.
Yeah. Listen, and also, it's not like we're making it up with Jack Grealish. Caught twice for drinking and driving during COVID, and caught twice during the season on Instagram partying in the middle of London. During the pandemic, during the season. So, you know what I mean? He's not a guy who likes to... And Pep Guardiola is rules. It didn't work with Zlatan. And Zlatan is professional. It was just because he wanted to drive his red Ferrari. And not the Audi team car, you know? So...
Good old Zlatan, huh?
With Grealish, the concerns are real about the off-the-field stuff. Because we've seen it within the last 12 months in a pandemic. Even then, he wouldn't change, you know? So, phew.
Andrew Harrison was saying about the city having money thing. He says more than we need to worry about. That's for sure. I reckon they could make those purchases twice and find a way to make it work.
Absolutely.
Andrew Harrison also says, I think Jack likes to be the guy at his club. Not sure how he will cope having to play amongst other dudes who are clearly the focal points. Listen, that whole rant you went on earlier about Jack Grealish, Zapata, Shimmy and Andrew Harrison had that conversation for you.
Okay.
It was all just...
No, it's because they aged and they've been through the world.
It's also because they were talking sports before we were.
Yeah. No, we've... listen, we're a sports entertainment show, you know? We're obliged to acknowledge pop culture.
Well, maybe we shouldn't, because Tabo doesn't like your singing either.
Oh, he doesn't?
Yeah, he says Umbelelo and the singing again. With like cringe faces.
Oh, with cringe face emojis.
It's like...
Yeah, I'm not a good singer. I'm terrible at lots of things. Singing is one of them.
When you sing on the show, it does come through my earphones, directly into my ears. So it's not like there's a... You know, it's loud in my ears.
Bad. How bad?
Look, I'm blind currently.
Yeah.
I'm going to go deaf soon, too.
Oh, that's thoughts and prayers, Jimbo.
T's and P's, huh?
I don't mean to... Listen, I just want to live my life, you know? And what am I supposed to do? Not sing.
You just have to live your truth, huh?
Oprah. Shout out Oprah, dude. She is making all of the money on this planet.
Oh.
$4 billion Oprah's worth for
She
talking.
She is the American mint.
She's doing it. She's doing it, dude. I don't want... Now, you know what? I've always said the 2 best jobs in the world is the 3rd choice goalkeeper at a big club and being Gail. Oprah's Gail. Yeah, that's Oprah's bestie. Those are the 2 best jobs in the world.
Or being Oprah herself.
No. There's lots of pressure, public. Like, who knows who Gail is? Like, I could see your face there when I said Gail. You have no clue who she is. But she's living the billionaire life, right? You want to be besties with... I want to be... Because, you know, being Oprah, she can't even go get mangoes at the shop.
But why is Gail benefiting from Oprah being a billionaire?
Have you not seen it? Oh, you clearly... James is not into anything but himself. Is that like Gail's now got a show and she's like... But she's Oprah's bestie. Like private jet, guess who's going?
Oh, I know Gail. I do know Gail.
But okay, you see how her anonymity, like you
Yes.
had to think of.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like being a third choice goalkeeper. It's £40,000 a week. We have no idea who you are. I mean, honestly, you could go down and you have to go down to Builder's Warehouse and buy your own rake for your garden, and I wouldn't know, right?
It's like that 40-year-old goalkeeper is he at City, or he hasn't played a game or a professional game since like 2017 or
Scott
something?
Carson.
Yeah.
Yeah, formerly of Man City, and now he's gone. No, but that's where you want to be. Third choice goalkeeper is the best job in football. You get paid a salary that most people 99% of the world will never even be able to dream of reaching.
Yeah.
And nobody knows who you are. So you're living the dream because you get to play football, pitch up, right? But there's let's say 5% pressure. There's no pressure. Well, what is the pressure of being third choice keeper? You play a game every 4 years, at most, and you'll probably play with the juniors in the Carabao Cup. You know what I mean? That's the job. But I don't know now that I'm thinking about it, being Gail is the best job in the world.
Yes.
Being Gail is the best. It's the best form of human existence on
Go
earth.
Gail.
Because you know what it's about as well. You know where Oprah goes for, I just need to de-stress. You know? Like Gail. We need to just go to the private island.
Gail, we just need to go to Bora Bora this weekend. Honestly, I'm just...
Because you know what the most cringe vomit-worthy stuff on earth is when you know how successful people try and stay humble, like in
Yes.
public. It's like, hey, I rolled my friends from when I wasn't rich.
Yeah.
Like they try and stay humble. That's what Oprah's doing. Is Gail been my girl since the beginning, y'all?
I was rolling with my friends since before I had Gucci.
Yeah. No, well, Gail, like, hey, she my girl. She keep me grounded.
Well,
Oprah does not sound like that.
No.
Oprah is 45,000 times as articulate as I am, by the way.
And very educated.
No, Oprah's the bomb. Da bomb. A little bit racist on my part there, what I did.
Yes, very. But it's not my place to say. So.
Yeah, no. Although it was... what was that? What did I do there?
It was
It's wrong. It's wrong.
stereotypical. Is
Yeah,
what it was.
but it's not about a race thing. The world tells me I'm a black guy. So what was I doing there? Maybe a bit of self-hate as well. Like, why did I go fully Bonics for one of the most articulate, brilliant minds on earth? What happened there? That's on me.
It's because you are being brainwashed by
Hollywood,
Hollywood.
the Illuminati.
Yeah.
That's true.
And the reptile people.
Which is why black women have the right to be angry, because look what I'm doing.
Correct.
Even Oprah is a hero to all of us.
Correct.
And I've gone and reduced her to being from the hood.
That is a truth fact.
And Oprah has transcended the hood.
Yep.
And a tragic life. And why am I not acknowledging that?
Because you're a terrible person.
I hate myself.
You do.
That's what the problem is. It's not about Oprah.
And you need to work on yourself this weekend, all right?
Oh my God, I'm angry that I'm not Gail. That's what it comes down to, James. Oh my gosh, hi Cyril.
Hi, sir.
Jimbo, it's been a good week, huh?
It has.
You know, for many weeks, I've been saying there's something on the horizon. Look out for this. Look out for that.
It's an announcement time.
It's not announcement time.
Friends.
I'm going to announce that, folks, within the next 2 weeks.
Wait. I have to have the applause ready. Okay, go.
Within the next 2 weeks, there will be an announcement about an announcement.
Oh,
So this is an announcement about an announcement.
That doesn't deserve an applause. That was just annoying.
No
That's
good.
what it was. Nope.
I set you up there. I set you up like a cheating boyfriend, James. A cheating boyfriend who hates white women, and I don't know why. Jimbo, great week, by the way. 25th of June, ladies and gentlemen. Monday, a new personal era begins for me. Catch me on the Gareth Cliff Show. The GCS. It has been announced. Hasn't it been announced? I don't know. Maybe we'll wait for Monday. There's a little announcement on there. My professional life taking another evolution. Catch me on the GCS to hear more about that on Monday. It's what we call a teaser. The MKT Show, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an awesome week. James, I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everything you do for the show. Absolutely awesome week again. Have a fantastic week, James. I hope you're seeing your loved ones. If not, stay safe, bro. Keep exercising. Go for that walk. Stay away from the smoking. It's great. I love that James has stopped smoking. But I really, really appreciate everything you do for the show, Jimbo. Keep rocking this weekend. A bit of R&R. Have a fantastic weekend. And from me, MKT, this is the MKT Show. The show's named after me. We are the hell out of here.